but it drives me crazy. I got these two things running all the time.
They're up.
In a house. It drives me insane.
I bet you they're not running all the time.
No, they don't run all the time. But I always wonder too, do they run, are both of them always hot, or does it wait for one typically to like run out and you need the second?
No, they're firing all the time, and so
they're always going.
So it's just like a thermostat in your house. It's when the water drops to a certain temperature, it fires up.
I'd be curious if I could turn off one of them and operate off one.
You could, but
I don't think we use that much hot water. Is what I'm saying.
Oh, I see. But yeah, but if you needed to, I mean, obviously it wouldn't heat fast enough. You'd be waiting. So
if I needed to.
You could try putting one on vacation.
With two teenagers, you got a boy and a girl, right?
Yeah, they both shower every day. We both shower every day. And then, you know, dishwasher, right. And then, of course, the clothes washer never freaking stops. The hot tub, because I don't use the heating element in there, I just constantly run hot water into it just because I want to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, really a 50-gallon. I got a 50-gallon in my house, and I had 3 teenagers plus me and my wife. We never ran out.
See, I don't think I'd run out either. That's what I'm saying. I don't know why I would run out. Maybe what I'll do once it gets a little warmer here, like in a week or two, kill one of them, not say anything to anybody in the house, and see if it's an issue.
Yeah.
Because we'll always, you know, she's out of the shower sometimes at 5:30 in the morning. I'm out by, you know, 6:45. So the kids are the ones later. They're going to be the ones that feel it, not me. So, but I don't want to plant any seeds. I don't want to hear any complaints unless there is one.
I mean, yeah, one would just be your holding tank, I would assume.
Well,
no, I wouldn't even do it that way. I would simply turn one off. I'd kill the gas. I'd turn everything off and drain the water.
Just put it on vacation.
Oh, okay. I've never looked at the dial to see what's on there. It was made in '01, so. Actually, I don't know if he ever replaced them. Now that I think about it, I don't know if they're original or not. I assume they are because there's 2 of them. I bought it, we bought it 3.5 years ago, and they were in there. You guys came out and looked at everything, and they were great. They said that everything was in great shape. But I never thought to ask what year, but I'm sure that's right on there.
Yeah. We're going to find a Kleenex. We're about to get started, right?
You know what? The bathroom.
Okay. How much time do I got?
You're fine. You got at least 5 minutes.
Quick like a fox.
He's going to hear all those spots I do.
Yeah, no, you well, I thought you were going to put them on hold.
Well, what on hold?
The spots, per se.
No. We just don't do them live. We run out.
Oh, yeah, well, that's fine. Have Tom turn it down.
March Madness is breaking. I still have Elite 8 round inventory.
Did you, are you doing the March Madness pool?
No. Hey, did you see one guy? It's the first time ever made it to 16. Perfect bracket. Perfect bracket up until 16.
Okay.
And I don't know if he's lost since. I have no idea. That was over the weekend.
Oh, they've done that before.
First time. No. First time.
No.
Then are we at 8 now or 16?
I don't know where it's at, but if you remember, they did one for if you got them all right, you get $1 billion.
Look, best bracket.
And
that's all right.
And the guy went down to, I believe, the final 8 or the final 4.
You're wrong. Right here. First time ever.
Maybe in that one.
NCAA tournament. What the fuck?
What are you doing?
Tournament. Perfect into Sweet 16 for first time ever.
Oh, the tournament. Okay.
We're talking everything.
Right. I thought you meant a person.
No. This fucking guy has done every single game till now and nailed every one of them. Imagine that. You've got to pick the winners, losers all the way through. First time ever done. It's like 1 in, let me see if it says here.
You're wrong on this.
Through 48 of the 63 games, there is 1 perfect bracket left across all major online bracket games. And it happened to be into the Capital One NCAA. By reaching the Sweet 16 unblemished, Center Road now owns the longest streak of the correct bracket picks we have ever seen, shattering our reported record of 39 games in 2017. You know what it is if this guy actually gets the rest of them? it was like 1 in 3 trillion.
Yeah.
That makes winning the lottery look like easy cheesy. 1 in 3 trillion. This guy's the craziest, luckiest bastard in the world. For reference, if every game were a coin toss, the odds of predicting 48 in a row are 1 in, oh my God, I don't even know what number that is. Tell me what number that is.
Mr. Logan, I took a hot shower.
Big.
Good.
I just want you
What's
to know I
after a
like
trillion?
it.
A Google?
Excellent.
But you were wrong. It's the
Gazillion?
opposite.
Gazillion?
If you want
Is that a
more
real-
hot water,
that
it's
is
counterclockwise.
Oh, that's a gazillion dollars.
I
sure
proved it
gazillion?
by doing it. So in other words, it doesn't sound logical to me, but the cold water comes over to the mixing valve. You would think by turning it clockwise, you're turning off the cold water. You're adding less cold water, therefore you get hotter water. But it kept getting cooler and cooler. And I said, okay, so I went the opposite. And I turned it counterclockwise, which in my mind was opening up the cold water valve more into the hot water. But it got me hotter water. So all I know is
Look at me teaching
I have
the
great hot
engineer
water.
As
thing.
long as you got hot water.
Here's the thing though.
Numbers.
Your guy tried to adjust it so you just turn it on full blast in the shower and it will never scald you. In other words, it'll be a perfect temperature.
How many
And I
zeros?
said,
100.
I told Stephanie,
You didn't know that's where
I disagree
Google
with
came
that.
from.
I want to be able
You know, I
to
did that
turn it
before
up
Google because I had
more
an
than I need.
economics
And then
teacher.
I'll
like
adjust
eighth
it
grade
in the
that
shower.
always
I
talked about it.
don't want to try to predict the hottest water I'll need.
Actually,
Because
that's
some days you
Google
want
is not the
really
name
hot
of it.
water.
Correct
Yeah.
number is
And
Google
some
Plus.
days you don't. But
Google
I don't
Plus. I
want
never.
someone else deciding what should be the maximum temp.
Name is
And that's more for a safety thing with
It
dealing
is a
with
safety
children.
thing. Oh, it for
You know,
sure is.
because children can't figure that out.
I didn't
Oh,
know.
no, you're absolutely right. And I can
But,
see
but
that.
I'm with you. I turned mine up all the way.
And then I
So,
regulated in
Google
the shower.
zeros,
I still didn't turn it all the way because that water heater.
Google.
Oh my
Google.
God, that is
Google.
that water heater. Oh my God, is it strong?
We were just talking about
Is it
that.
a
Mark
zillion?
has 250s. He should get one like you got.
He's probably gonna.
Is a huge
What did he
amount.
get? Instant heat or no?
No, I got the quick recovery. It's effectively 250 gallons.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
So it's a.
Actually, the new ones are never ending. I can have it on forever. It's hot
Well-
water. It's instant hot
I
water.
don't think you could have it on forever.
Well, don't mix up Insta-Hot with
Continual. He knows.
continual.
Why?
Because continual just means it's going to keep giving you hot
Yeah,
water.
it's got enough recovery to never
That's
run
right.
out.
That's exactly
Instant
right.
hot means that I turn it on and the water's hot like.
Oh, it doesn't have to warm up.
Right.
I see what you're saying. And he was actually, Tom brought up an interesting thing. If you did my well water coming up's got to be what, 48 degrees or cooler.
Yeah, right.
So it really takes longer to go. So if you had a storage tank
I used to have just
that
a
it
holding
would
tank.
suck from, it would actually heat up way quicker.
If you just take nothing more than a matching holding tank, that's it, uninsulated, it gives you ambient temperatures of about 68 and 70, and so you're heating up way less than you would straight from the well. I used to do that all the time.
Yeah.
Put in an extra tank and just sit there. Yeah, do nothing more than sit there.
And then it cycle through your hot water.
Yeah, it's just really it just sits
See
there.
you
Your water.
Help me get my
Hi,
feet
Tom
back.
Martino. This snuck up on me. I'm on the air. And I am so happy I am here with you. We do this every day. I've been doing it more than people say, what was it? Is it 40 or is it more than 40? Well, if you count my entire career, it's way more than 40. Okay, like 45, 46 years. But in Denver, 38, 39, whatever. And I am here to solve your problems. I've been doing it so long, it's old hat to me. I kind of miss TV. I used to be on TV every single night and retired now it's been 7 or 8 years ago. But I do, TV commercials now for the referral list. Mark, do we have any commercials running for the referral list right now?
We do on Comcast. We're
Okay.
hitting it really hard on, guess where?
Where?
MSNBC at the moment.
Oh, okay.
I'm
So
almost embarrassed to say it.
Well,
but
Mark picks his
their
shows.
viewerships are great.
Oh, it is? MSNBC does good here?
They do very well right now. For
How
the
does Fox
audience
do
you
here?
buy. Fox does great too. Fox actually does very well, but it costs more. So if you're looking at eyeballs, you get more bang for your buck with MSNBC.
303-713-TALK. You see, we advertise as well, of course. And this show is all about finding the right people. It really is. And going after the bad guys. If you ever have a question about anything going on, call us. Like, you've heard a problem, you want to know where it sits, call us. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. And every day we have someone in from the referral list just to say hi and to talk. But, you know, they don't have to talk about what they do unless you have any questions. But we have Bob Logan with us. I've known Bob for many, many years. Bob, how long, you're an owner at Plumline, but how long, when did you join Plumline with Jeff? Because Jeff started it. I was with Jeff from almost the very beginning. About 17 or 18 years ago?
Jeff started in 1998.
Yeah.
So we're 20 years old, and I started actually 10 years in February, so it was my 10-year anniversary.
And then Jeff got out of the business, and you're continuing the tradition. It's Plumline Heating and Cooling, or Plumline, and it's for plumbing, cooling, electric, and drains. The whole deal. They have their own drain division. Welcome. So let's talk. Daryl wants to talk about Ride the West, Colorado Ride the West. We'll talk to him. What did you want to say?
I find it amazing how many kids coming out of high school, and we talk about this a lot, don't get into your industry, Bob. It drives me absolutely insane.
The trades, you're right. Everyone says, you know, we need to go to college. Now, I don't want to downplay college. My kids, I told them it's not optional. It's not optional. But, Mark, you're right. You're right. As far as trades...
If the right 18 or 20-year-old came to you out of high school.
Well, out of high school, they're not 18 or 20 unless they're you. They're usually 16 or...
I was out at 15, bro.
Yeah, quit. Usually 16 or 17.
So, my point, though,
18.
if they got with you... I mean, by the time they're 25, they could be making over $100K. That's possible, right?
Of course they could.
That's very realistic in our industry.
See, and that's crazy. Then that's instead of coming out of college with all these bills, and the average guy,
true.
The average guy coming out of CU or CSU right now, average starting salary is like $44,000.
Well, you know, here's the deal, okay? College has gotten out of hand. That's a whole different ballgame. Let me just explain. We're a consumer advocacy show. This is part of the stuff we talk about, personal finance and life. And Daryl, I promise I'll take your call right now, and then I want to get into that thing about education. You hit on something. It's almost becoming counterproductive. You can almost not justify the cost on any degree at this point, but it's become a status thing, as we know from the college scandals, and it's become almost mandatory. I believe, I'm just going to give you a preview, high school is a waste of time as far as the fourth year. Fourth of high school, you could easily condense high school into 3 years or 2.5. You can. You really can. This notion of having summers off is ridiculous. First of all, kids could get out of school. My proposal is when they get out of 12 years of school, they should have an associate's degree. And it would be easy to do. And then at least everyone is on that footing.
How about if they teach some common sense in these high schools? Like how to use a credit card, balance a checkbook, look at an interest rate, buy a car, not get scammed.
Some teachers do it, some don't. I would love a consumer curriculum. I've said it for years. Let's go to Daryl, and we'll expound on this. Daryl, I have in front of me Ride the West. What is this Ride the West? It is a RV rental place?
Yes, what they do is they bring in motorhomes from owners and they rent them out for you.
I believe Okay, go ahead. I want to know. I want to know more about it. I mean, does it work? Have you done it before?
Well, I got involved with it in May of 2017. I got a flyer in the mail from them and thought, well, I'm not going to use my motorhome at least this summer.
I wonder if does Century RV do that, Mark? Does Century RV rent? They used to years ago.
They might rent non-motorized, but I don't think they rent motorized. I'd have to check.
Can we call and just ask him for the heck of it? Okay, so you got involved in May of 2017. Well, tell me what the problem is. Let's not go through 17, 18, and 19. What's the problem right now?
Well, what happened is in the summer of 2017, it was rented out and taken out to California. You're an owner. I'm an owner.
I get it. You're renting out your RV when you're not using it, and it was taken out to California, and what happened?
Well, on the way back, they blew a tire, and they tore out those two bins underneath the motorhome.
How does that happen? Wow.
Well, when the tire blows, you know, rubber flies all over, evidently.
Okay, so you have insurance, though. And did you have the proper insurance to be renting it?
Well, they charge you for insurance. They insure it while it's out.
Okay.
And my insurance just covers it when it's sitting there parked in the lot for hail or vandalism.
So was it fixed? Was it fixed?
It went a year and had not been fixed.
So during that year, was it drivable?
Oh, it was drivable, and in fact, they even ran it out, I think, once.
Okay. So what's the problem then today? What are you calling about? Something prompted it.
Well, I finally got them to at least get the bins. They said they couldn't find the bins. I got a hold of one of the local people that handle Fleetwood. This is a Fleetwood motorhome. They called Fleetwood and called me back within 24 hours and said, "Where do you want the bins shipped to? We've got them."
Who had them?
It was Lazy Days RV contacted Fleetwood and said we can have the bins shipped to you.
And where is this? Where is this Ride the West located?
Down in South Denver, just down on Santa Fe.
All right, so you tell these guys, listen, I located the bins. What's the big deal? Where are we going with this? What did they say?
Well, they got the bins in, and due to that, I'd taken it out in May of 2019, found a lot of damage to it.
Yeah.
And asked them to fix that damage, not only the bins, but several other things.
What year is your motorhome?
2012.
Is it a motorhome?
Yes.
Okay. Man, I'll tell you what. I can't even imagine renting out my motorhome. I don't have a motorhome now, but I used to have. I've had several. And it's such a personal thing that, man, unless you buy it just to rent it out and you resign yourself to the fact that it's not going to be your baby, I guess you can do it. Did you do it for affordability, or did you do it to make money, or did you do it? Why did you do it?
Well, they were promising you, pretty good return on it, and I thought, since I'm not going to use it, I'll rent it out for a summer or two.
I get you.
And just make
according to their website, mine, I'd get $3,500 a week, but I'd still be terrified to do that.
I wouldn't do it. But anyway, here we are right now. We need to go where we're going. By the way, Daryl is an example of contacting us. Help at troubleshooter.com or 303-MARTINO. And then we got back to him. So, Daryl, let's get to solving the problem, okay? Let's do that. This hour brought to you by Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. No one better than Frank. It's just that simple. I know, I'm not saying you're not going to be treated well. We've had other real estate people on the referral list, and we deal with other real estate people. They're fine. But, then you have the best of the best of the best. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com, and you'll only know if you use them for buying or selling. 303-920-1622.
What his problem is. Okay. So his problem is a couple things. One thing, it took him a long time, so he can't even, according to the contract, can't even have anybody else fix it. They have to fix it, otherwise they won't pay for it. If there's any disagreements, they won't do small claims court. They do mediation. If mediation doesn't work, they got to go right to hiring a lawyer. So what it does is keep people from suing. Because
why do they have to? What they can't tell you not to go to small claims court.
It says right here.
I don't care what it says.
Okay, well that's a good question.
They can't deny you of your rights.
Okay.
So now they can force arbitration.
Right. They do that at first, but they say if you. So I highlighted it. So that's my question right there. Is that even legal?
Well. Whether it's legal or not again.
So another thing is he thought they were kind of screwed.
Mike's going on. I don't mean to diss cosmetic dentistry. Some people just need a few tweaks here and there for a nice smile. But many smiles are crooked. Many teeth are crooked due to the way the teeth are shaped and the way the jaw. It's a narrow palate. And they have other problems like TMJ or sleep apnea. Aurora Orthodontics and TMJ takes a look at the whole organism. They take your mouth and make it beautiful. Why? They widen your palate, they adjust your jaw, and you end up with a straight, beautiful smile, and they do away with TMJ and sleep apneas. And they do it cheaper. and faster than regular orthodontics, and way cheaper than cosmetic dentistry. For a couple $1,000s or a little more, you get this complete program and straight, beautiful teeth, taking care of any other problems for a beautiful smile. 303-690-0100. 303-690-0100. It's a special way he does it. It's called The New Orthodontics. Dr. Kent Lawson. Start Googling 303-690-0100.
Bob Kicker.
Interesting choice of words, the whole organism.
Hey, so read that weird one from Tim. Look at that station feedback that just came in.
Okay. Yes, dear.
Frank Duran usually comes on Wednesdays in the third hour, but he's not available today. Had a minor emergency.
Well, you can tell him he can move it informally. We'll play it.
Did you just send me the email?
Okay.
I just forwarded it to you.
So another thing is problem, he put a tracker in there because he thought they were screwing them. And they took it to South Dakota and they shorted them by 4 days.
Ooh, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
He had a tracker in there?
He put a tracker
I've
in
got
there.
a tracker in mine, too.
So
I got a tracker in all the kids' cars.
So that's the only one.
What
So
program on tampons?
That's what I'm saying. I have no idea what he's talking about. He just sent that like he just got it.
Oh, no, somebody talked about it on radio. This woman ran a marathon and was bleeding profusely from her short line.
Did you talk about it?
No.
Okay.
But she didn't. She thought that women should not be body shamed due to periods, and they should be open.
And she wanted to win the marathon, or what?
No, he was just making a statement. In other words, I'm not going to wipe up. I'm not going to wear anything special just because I'm a woman, and I shouldn't be body shamed because I'm bleeding. So then there was some social posting about women doing things while on their period, and it showed people with nasty stained pants and legs and all that, and say, shh. And then it became a discussion on social media. So I think, I'm not saying this happened, I'm thinking somebody must have this morning talked about
Maybe Caldera did that.
I don't think anyone.
It's called body shaming nowadays. You can't body shame.
well, it's just like there's been guys who run the marathon and they shit their pants. Does that say, hey, let's...
Hey, there was that one astronaut that drove from Florida to New York. She wore a diaper and pissed the whole time to go kill her husband. That's a real fucking story. It does happen.
He can save you money, that's for sure. He can get you the right prices. And you know how confident he is.
You and your tampon talk.
Bob, would you ever talk about this till you're here?
It's always a joy coming. I learned so much.
Tell them what you order at Starbucks. Tell them what you used to order at Starbucks.
I got to see if I can remember it. A quad grande sugar-free vanilla breve latte.
And it came with the tampon.
Stephanie still asks about that. We asked her. It just doesn't come with it.
You should have been shot in the sheets.
But see, that's gender shaming. And
Shot in the sheets.
That's gender shaming. There would be nothing wrong with me being feminine. So stop. That's the gender.
There is nothing wrong.
I will not be gender shaming.
Give me your best shot.
How come you can declare your gender, but you can't declare your race? Explain that one to me.
You should be able to. I identify as a
Pocahontas
Dutchman.
did.
I'm sorry, but that's just the way I am.
That one girl
I'm a
from-
Dutchman.
He's a Dutchman.
I'm going to be a Dutch.
I identify as a
Where is
Dutchman.
Dutch? Is it the Netherlands? Is it Holland? What is that? That's a sign.
I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter.
Yes.
I am your troubleshooter. And, you know, this is a good discussion that we are going to have on renting stuff out. It almost never pays. Almost never. By the way, this quick email, I just want to give them the name. Approval Reverse Mortgage. It's approvalreverse.com. This one elderly woman's looking for a reverse. And reverse means you just simply cash in on your equity. You don't even have to take cash. You can just pay off the existing loan, not have payments. Some people just get a line of credit but don't use it. Why would you do that, Mark? Think about that. Let's say your house is free and clear. Why would you get a reverse line of credit and not use a dime? Because, listen to this, they put a lien on your home for 150% of value. That means as an elderly person, you're not subject to being victimized by some unscrupulous creditor or contractor or someone that liens your house.
And you're guaranteed to live there till the day you die if you want to.
Yeah, and if you need the money, it's there in an emergency. Anyway, ApprovalReverse.com. Okay, Bob Logan's with us from Plumline Services, Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Drains. Bob, you weren't trained in any of those home services. What was your background?
I was not. So,
you run the company, but what did you do? Well, like before this.
What did I do? Well, I own a couple small businesses, a fire safety equipment company.
Yeah.
I had a vending company, soda and snack machines, a couple different sales positions. Then
Mark did all that. Mark did that kind of stuff. I say salespeople are at the heart of keeping the economy moving on any level. You know, yes, we have our geniuses, but it's where the rubber meets the road. It's where the sales are made that everyone lives or dies. I mean,
well,
if people...
I would agree with you.
It all comes down to sales. There's not one thing that doesn't come down to sales.
The reality is everybody, regardless of their position, is in sales.
You cannot pay a salesperson too much money. Can't. If it's based on commission.
They drive your business. And
the dumbest thing I've heard...
I know sales has a bad name, bad connotation. People have their images,
high pressure and all that, but sales is sales. Sales are important. Of course, we're saying honest, just sales. But here's the thing. There are companies that actually take high-performing salespeople and say, you know what, they're making a little too much money here, and then they cut their territories or cut their lists. What a dumb thing to do.
That happens a lot in advertising.
That's a dumb thing to do. I mean, you have to reward these people. Anyway, let's keep going here. Daryl's upset, and he's upset because he has his RV that was given or lent to this company, Ride the West, and he said a lot of damage was done while it's being rented out. I don't know where we are right now. Did they ever fix the initial that main damage to the cargo area? Did they get that done at least?
No, when I picked it up in February, they had put in one bin.
Did you terminate your agreement?
In there. Yes.
Okay, and you picked it up, and if you had to add up everything, how much damage do you have on your motorhome as a result of it being rented by Ride the West for stuff they did not fix that you think they're directly responsible for? How much?
Around $2,300.
Small potatoes. I mean, I say that meaning you're lucky. It could have been way worse.
There's another issue, though, I heard Dan talking about. Like they rented it out and didn't pay him is what I think he's also saying, right?
Well, they also, I caught them on shorting me on the rent. When I had it out in May, I suspected they were shorting me, so I put a GPS tracker on it.
Wow.
And sure enough, they rented it out in August, and they shorted me 4 days on the rent.
What do they say about that?
Well, when I told them, I tried just finding out how honest they were, so I said, well, I saw my motorhome coming back by Loveland on the 29th of the month, and you only paid me through the 25th. And they say, well, how do you know it was your motorhome? And I said, well, I know my own motorhome. And
now, okay, so they order, hold on.
Denying it.
They order mediation here in the contract, and then it says, but then it says, it is agreed by both parties that any court action will not be brought in any small claims. See, what they're saying is first mediation, and then if you don't get mediation, you can't go to small claims court. I am not sure of the legality. You have to check with an attorney. I am not sure they can make you waive your right. And
well, if they really rented this thing out longer than what they paid them for, in my opinion,
they
this
breached
company
it.
Sucks.
Oh no, they ought to be on the sleaze brigade. But they say you can't even go to small claims court, and you know why they're saying that? Because they want to make it difficult for people to bring an action.
Did they end up paying you for that though? Those 4 days, did they pay you or not?
They finally sent me a check for the 3 days when I furnished them the GPS reading showing that they had shorted me.
Okay.
They did pay me for the 3 days.
Did you start mediation for your repair bill? Because that's really where we're at right now.
No, and that's a question I had is what is the they say mediation. Well, what steps, I looked on the Colorado Mediation Board, and that gets quite involved.
Well, it's mediation. I mean,
how to start mediation.
Okay, you have to, as far as mediation, I don't know what they specified. Some actually specify a certain association of mediators. This simply says, should mediate, Oh, it says, let's see. It is agreed by both parties that they will first attempt to mediate any dispute before going to court. So it leaves it wide open. So did you, here's what I would do.
That could be anybody.
I'm not giving you legal advice on this contract because this contract's screwed up. But I'll give you some information. First, here's information. It doesn't talk about a process. And I'll tell you what I would do. If this was me, I would call and say, I am attempting to mediate the dispute whereby I believe you owe me this much money for damages incurred to my motorhome. It would be that simple. And I'm attempting to mediate. If I don't hear from you within 5 days, I will assume, or 7 days or 10 days, I will assume that you are unwilling to mediate and proceed to court. That's what I would do. I mean, that's what you have to start it somewhere. How long? You said you picked it up in February, so you better get started. I would first start by writing and calling if it was me. You do whatever you want. I wouldn't hire an attorney in the beginning until they fail to mediate. But you can go, it could be that they breached this thing already and you don't even have to follow it, but you'd have to let an attorney go through this and talk to him. This is really a pain in the ass. And I have to tell you something, for $2,300, it may not be worth it. If truly you can get stuff fixed, if you can get stuff fixed for $2,300, I think what we need to do is just tell these people, warn people about this place. We should first call them and see if they have a comment. Deputy Dan, if you handled this, we should call them. Todd's got a comment on this. Go ahead, Todd. What's your comment?
Hey, Tom, I predict that within the next 2 years, you guys are going to be bombarded with calls just like this one, but with cars, because they've got all these goofy apps now where you can rent your own car. You go to the airport, you drop it off, you fly out, they rent your car while you're gone.
Oh, God.
You're supposed to be back by the time you get. Can you imagine renting your car out to people you don't know? I'm a car guy.
People are doing it. It's like an Airbnb, but they're doing it with cars. This peer-to-peer stuff, how
much your car goes down in value all the time with miles and then dings. And I was the common man from Larry H. Miller. I used to work there when I came in and see you guys, so I'm kind of a car guy, and I cringe every time I hear these ads.
Well, of course. I mean, you're taking a risk anytime you rent anything. It's outrageous. I mean, think about it. But some people feel if you charge enough and get the right people, they'll take better care of your stuff. I don't think I would ever rent out my car unless I had an older car and I bought it or I'm done with it. I bought it to rent out or I'm done with it and I figure, okay, I'll rent it out. What the hey? If you make a few grand on some of these used cars, you're ahead of the ball game. But I would not do it with my real primary car, ever. Now, I picked up a guy one time. I met a guy one time. He had flown in. No, I was going to pick him up at the airport, but he decided to meet me. So he met me, and he had done one of these rentals. And he had a beautiful little Mercedes sedan, almost new, and he was renting it from a private owner using one of these apps. 303-713-TALK.
This is Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW, an iHeart radio station. With Russ Kaminsky Mornings, Sean Hannity at 1, KHOW, Denver.
Sponsored by Farmers Insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, ba, bum, 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 bum.
Other than a few minor slow spots here and there across the highways of the metro area, if you got somewhere to go, now's a good time to get there. I-25 and I-70 for the most part up to speed through town. Not seeing any major delays really across the metro area at this time. Off-highway crash in the cleanup stages on the northbound side of Broadway at Mississippi. Police and rescue vehicles remain on the scene. And up in the high country, US 6 is closed once again in Clear Creek Canyon for rockfall mitigation, not scheduled to reopen until 5 p.m. The weather forecast, partly sunny, warm today with a high near 75. Right now it's mostly cloudy in the Mile High City and 59. With your traffic and weather, I'm Pete Wagner, 630 KHOW.
At Farmers Insurance, we know every windshield collision has a unique sound. Beetle. Bird poop. Drone. Seen it, covered it. Talk to Farmers.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
If you think you have some problems with your transmission, you can get a free estimate at Budget A1. You may say, oh, Tom, a lot of people do free estimates. But here's the deal. This is not just any estimate. They will remove the transmission, open it up,
and lay out all the parts and give you an exact estimate. If you decide to have the work done, they don't charge you. If you take it somewhere else, they don't charge you. Here's the bottom line. It's free, totally free, to take it out and open it up. Budget A1 Transmission and Auto Repair, 303-781-9858, 781-9858.
If you owe money to the IRS, they're trying to here.
Excuse me.
20 seconds, Fuller Law 30 spot, 20 seconds. Call Optima Tax Relief. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, a special IRS program that could save you thousands if you qualify.
You switched me over?
$1 billion of tax debt.
Yes, I did.
So I called there. His brother was there.
Hold on, and then we'll talk.
What is that?
What's going on? Okay, mic's on. What do I do? That's a question I get all the time from people who just got in an accident and there are some injuries or they're not really sure. What do I do? No matter what, of course, take care of yourself and gather evidence and photos and all that. Take care of yourself medically, but always call John Fuller, Fuller Law, before you talk to any insurance. And I would never talk to insurance without talking to an attorney first. John Fuller, Fuller Law. If you have a good case, he'll let you know. 303-597-4500. 303-597-4500. That's personalinjuryco.com. What's the matter?
Nothing. I'm just setting the volume on this.
I can't hear anything.
Okay.
What are you doing, Mark?
I was seeing if that was on the headphone or not.
Retirement Saturday.
So the owner.
Is that okay?
Concerned about the market.
Yes.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay.
So the owner's in Florida doing
I see.
something for the veterans and stuff. He's Tampa.
Right, the West guy.
What did he say?
He said he would come on. He'd wait for his brother. His brother's will be back next Monday.
Let's do it.
So I said next Monday we'll give him a call at 10 o'clock. And so he says, oh, this guy is, if he just, it's all over $10, whatever. But if you look at the reviews, they either got 5-star or 1-star. The 5-star are the people who rent them. The 1-star are the people who had their units rented.
So the 1-stars are all from the people that rented?
Pretty much, that gave them to be rented.
I can even understand renting out a car because it's very basic. If it's an automatic, I mean, there's going to be damage or not, but an RV is a whole different story.
I agree.
They could screw up all kinds of
People don't know how to
things.
operate
If
on
you
it.
and Bob, I know you guys like coffee. I can get you guys coffee in a little bit. I'll squeeze some time in. Would you like coffee?
Actually,
people renting out their.
Yeah, we'll just keep it cool.
Okay.
I'll let you rent out your home. What's that called? When you rent out your home, what's that called?
Is it the RVO?
There, that to me is very costly.
Yeah.
Versus an RV, I could care less about an RV.
Like Tom said, a VRBO,
3 times?
to me, you buy it for that purpose, You buy it for the rental, you start renting out your own house.
That's what I say.
You're asking for trouble.
I think so. I think it's just like, ooh, goodies.
The rates are ridiculous, though. So depending on the time of year, anywhere from $1,800 up to $3,500 for 7 days or 1 week.
And you would get half of that.
Is that what it says?
Yes.
Well, I wouldn't do it, period.
But that's what they get, is half. But like I say, here, and I asked the guy about, hey, he's
having your RV rented out.
Well, I think I'd rather rent out an RV than my home.
Well,
I mean, being big.
Yeah, but a lot of people, I think they can do more damage to the RV.
Sure, but if you have insurance on it, if you don't, and he has an older one. His is 7 years old.
Is what?
His is 7 years old. It's 2012.
It's not too old for RVs. You'd be shocked how cheap insurance is. It's so cheap.
I know what you get.
It blows me away.
Well, that's because you're not driving them a lot.
Yeah, I know. And then they figure when you are, you're driving it to, as good as you can drive, basically.
Well, the guy with the rolling turd, he drove his a lot.
Oh, my God. When he pulled up in that thing, man.
Hey, we need to do some follow-ups. You guys went out and saw that one.
Oh, my God.
What Mark did.
What do you want me to say? I don't believe, I mean...
What do you expect for
How do you argue when you pay $80 a month?
And he was bitching about the other place across the street had a pool.
Hello, I'm Tom Martino. Bob Logan's with us from Plumline Services, plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, and drains. Okay, so what is going on with Ride the West? We called them. Let's get to another call. but we'll do this follow-up quickly. And then we have some lines open. Tim's on as well, and Tim will get to you. The number is 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Then a quick note on colleges. We talked about college degrees and trades. Hey, Dan, what did Ride the West say?
So Wayne, his brother, answered. The owner, Ron, is in... I'm sorry. Yeah, Wayne is the brother and stuff. Ron is in Florida.
And stuff.
And stuff.
He said it.
So he's just, so he couldn't come here, but we're going to call him next Monday.
And stuff.
And he said this Daryl guy, when I started...
He said the Daryl guy's nitpicking. That's what he said, in a nutshell.
That's what he said. It's really over $10. That's what he said.
$10?
Yeah, it's not.
$10.
It's not. Daryl, listen, they're trying to minimize your claim, but in the long run, I'm not even sure it's going to be worth going after these guys, but it's interesting to see their reviews online. Almost no owners like them, the ones who rent out their stuff, but the people who do the renting, they love it. You know, and that goes, I mean, really, when you go to rent something, that's easy. You pay the rent and you abuse the hell out of something.
You would think they do a walkthrough, just like a rental company when it's done and over. Someone checks stuff out.
If it was yours. But, see, this is where management of rentals is not you. So I find it very difficult to trust someone to say, oh, yeah, you know, you did this. They don't care like you do. When you're renting out your home or your car or your vehicle, your RV, you care more than a management company will. First of all, I would never, ever, ever participate in Colorado Ride the West on either side. I don't like the concept in general. I don't like it in general. You know, I like Century RV. In fact, I'll bet you that you could have a cheaper... listen, they have some Cougars right now, Mark. They can get down to $299 a month on some of these things. $299 times 12, let's just say that, is $3,500. Guess what, people? That's a week of renting at this Ride the West. You could own one. Now, of course, there's insurance and gas and all that when you use it, but think about that. You could damn near own one for what you would pay to rent one. So, Century RV, I just love these guys because of their pricing. By the way, 303-453-1111. We're going to follow this up, Daryl, okay? We're going to let's give the owner a chance to come on and respond. He's out of town. We're going to help him. Not help him. We're going to accommodate him. Whenever an owner says, hey, you know, I'll come on, or somebody says they're out of town, give us a chance, we do it. It's only fair. 303-713-TALK. Tim, what is your issue with Home Depot? Tim.
Hello.
What's happening?
A lot of frustration.
What? Why?
Well, my wife and I purchased an entire kitchen from Home Depot, appliances, cabinets.
Now, how did you decide to go to Home Depot and not buy and build?
Well, because I'm 150 miles east of Denver, out in Yuma, Colorado, and the closest place was Home Depot that would deliver.
Okay, so let's talk about the problem.
Okay, cabinets in particular, we purchased Martha Stewart, Thomasville cabinets.
Let's get to the problem, though. You don't have to give me that much detail. I'll start asking, but right now I'd like to know where things started falling apart.
Well, delivery. We received wrong cabinets, wrong assembled cabinets.
Now, all of that, I assume, was then fixed?
Well, my carpenter, my installer, made some repairs. We had to. We were going to lose our contract.
When you say some repairs, so not only were they wrong, but they were damaged?
Damaged. We've had...
Okay, let me write that down. So your delivery was damaged, but was it wrong? Did you, literally get a different size or a different cabinet?
Yeah, right and lefts versus left and rights, finished ends versus not finished ends.
Gotcha. All right, so then what happened after that?
Okay, we have for the last 6 weeks, been dealing with management.
What are you trying to do with them? You accepted the delivery. You made the repairs. What is the issue right now? Is it reimbursement or adjustment? What is the issue?
Adjustment, as well as some parts still have not. They've been delivered 3 times, and they've been defective 3 times. And now they're telling me they think it's resolved. It's not resolved.
Do we have someone at Home Depot? I think we do.
We do, Tom.
And don't they usually get results?
They are very good at helping us out, but I've got to get an email from him, so.
Now, Tim, I don't want you to think like, oh, well, I want to tell them more and more and more. You know, we can hear the problem, and I want to hear the problem so people can avoid problems. But the main thing is we are going to give it to someone. We call it an angel when companies put forth someone to intercede for consumers, and they usually get things done. So let's talk about the main problems, though. Wrong cabinets and damaged, and now on redelivery or corrections, they've been wrong every time. How many times, though, really?
Yeah, for example.
How many times have they delivered the wrong stuff? How many actual times?
3 times.
Okay.
And it's still not right.
Why?
It appears to me that it's manufacture. I mean...
what do you mean?
Well, the dovetail joints are broken every time they come.
Mm-hmm.
And I would assume that,
You know, I would never, okay, if you want to pay the most for something, you go to Home Depot. You know, they have this illusion that you're saving money. Tim, we have to hand this over to our angel. I'm not hearing any really gory details, but I'll explain something. I wanted to do a laundry room, and so I went to Home Depot, and their bid was $14,000. That's for some base cabinets and a counter, granite, and a few wall cabinets, and I mean just a few. And it's a very small laundry room. No floors, nothing. I then went to the referral list and got a handyman and went to buy and build and told them what I wanted. They drew out the whole thing, designed it, told me what I needed, where it needed to go. The contractor, the handyman says, yeah, we can do that. Whole thing done for $1,800 or $1,900, including parts. Think about this. From $14,000 from the Home Depot. And I didn't skimp a bit. And Courtney at Buy and Build did not give me a special deal. It's just his everyday low prices. So, there you go. It's so unbelievable when you shop around the variance in pricing. Although pricing shouldn't be everything, I'm wondering how Home Depot got there. They used to be a place where really you would save some money. But I'll venture to say there is not one area where you save money at Home Depot.
I can tell you this, SimplyFloorsInc.com is cheaper on all their flooring than those guys.
Yeah, and that's a single sole proprietor there. There's a and he can outprice Home Depot. So I don't get what, and then they have these contractors, right? When you think you're getting a turnkey job, but that contractor is separate, even though they're endorsed by the Home Depot. They send out someone, and we've had nothing but trouble. And they don't care. They don't care unless we make a lot of noise. So if you think you're saving money, you're not. You're not. And they try to do all things for all people. And I don't even know what they are now. They're really not a hardware store. They're really not a retail store. They're really not a wholesale store. What are they? And okay, I will tell you, once in a great while, you'll find some tools.
Yeah, if you need some landscaping stuff, tools, a lawnmower, there's stuff they definitely do good at.
Yeah, but you can almost do better by shopping around.
How about, like, here's one that drives me nuts there, light bulbs. Have you bought new LED bulbs? If you go to Costco, Costco is so much cheaper than anybody, it's remarkable. How come Home Depot can't be? I don't understand it.
Yeah, you know, I often wondered that too. And Costco, while being cheap, you know, yeah, they are. They're very, and Sam's Club, they are very cost effective, but not on everything either. And then the biggest sham, in my opinion, the factory outlet stores.
Yeah, I agree there.
The biggest sham I have ever seen people fall for.
We've seen higher prices.
Oh, way higher.
Than their regular stores.
Yeah, go to factory. What does this factory outlet mean? I mean, it's ridiculous.
The worst jewelry.
Sponsored.
It's all in the name. Factory outlet.
Here's what they do, though. Like in your business, Home Depot will sell the stupid, a water heater cheap. But if they go through the installer and they go through everything Home Depot wants to do, they're getting right up there by the same price.
Right.
So people
After farmers, right?
We'll get the calls going.
Hey,
Plum
I got a weird
Uncle
Uncle Kevin.
whoever's, we paid $2,000 and buy that same water heater for $800. But they're not thinking of installation and everything else because they never went that far.
Upgrades.
They make, well, that's another big one. Code.
Code, yeah. Going from
Permit?
3-inch to 4-inch flue. You got a permit. You got to have an expansion tank on it these days. If it's on a wood subfloor, you got to put a pan underneath it.
I don't really understand that spec.
Mike, going on.
Tank. What do you mean?
So,
I want my Uncle Kevin. That is what I call him. Kevin Calkin at Sheridan Auto Tech. A big friendly guy with the best prices and experience and knowledge and passion. They do preventive maintenance and they do, of course, emergency maintenance. Whatever you need, you'll get honesty, value, experience, knowledge, and this convenience. 2 locations, Lakewood on Colfax, just west of Wadsworth. Aurora on Havana, just south of 6th Avenue. Really, he has grown into a wonderful company of thousands of customers, and he wants you to join the SheridanAutotech.com family. 303-455-7242, 455-7242. Sorry.
So, Tom, how legal is that, do you think, that they can keep you from going to small claims?
I don't think they can, but I don't want to give that guy that advice.
Right, no, I understand. So what lawyer could we ask?
What if they said, for example, you agree to slavery? You can't.
No, I understand that. And Mark about that, you agree if you don't bring him back right, we shoot you in the head.
Right.
It's kind of unreasonable. But is that unreasonable?
It is unreasonable.
So
because here's why. Because clearly, it's not for mediation purposes.
Right.
Because mediation is mentioned. It's not for court. They're saying, oh, you can go to court, but you can't do this venue. Why? That's what you call unconscionable because there's no reason.
Right.
In other words, when asked why, what would they say? What reason would they have?
I know why they're doing it
because we can't leave the business.
What reason would they
Because
say?
we'd have to shut down our entire business to go to small claims.
No.
What about regular court?
Yeah, regular court, they have to do the same thing. And what they're doing is to go hire a lawyer is...
I don't have another spot this spot. No, that's what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is there is no reason it's unconscionable. It's a roadblock to
justice.
That's exactly a good way of putting it.
Okay, because I'm with Smollett. Hey, so who could I call to ask this before we call this guy up on Monday? Because I would like the answer right there. Which lawyer would think we'd know that?
None of lawyer would know what. If it's conscionable.
None of them will come out and say that.
No, because they don't know everything's.
But here's okay. I know someone.
Benelli. Let's ask Benelli.
Indeed. Creating a resume is a great way.
He's going to agree with.
But you're not.
Marco's going to say no. It's going to be the same old lawyer answer. I don't care who we call.
Really?
It depends.
The same old lawyer.
It is. It depends.
What day is this? What day is this? This Monday? No, you can do it on Monday. So.
It'd be nice to have the guy try it.
This guy didn't send us enough information to do shit, man. I think I nailed this when the guy called in, though.
So I did that. There,
you can read that.
Okay, I need to. Are you done with that? Yeah, you are.
Are you done with that, man? Tom.
You tore my staple hook.
I do a perfect impression of my daughter.
Dad, can my boyfriend come over just for a little bit?
Is that you?
Why can't I close the door? We've been dating for a year now.
Oh, thank God my daughter doesn't date that. Oh, my God.
Oh, it's coming,
Thank God I'm past that.
It's coming, man. She tries to justify everything.
Why?
We can do the same thing in the cars we do there.
Oh, here was the newest one. So remember, she's basically 17 or will be any minute.
Dad, Ethan's going to his grandmother's in California. We'll stay in different rooms. Can I go with him? We've been together for a year.
No.
Why? You don't trust me?
No.
That's right. Good point. I didn't think of that. Good point.
No.
I don't trust you or Ethan.
I don't trust. I trust. Actually, neither of them. God. The kid Miles had one good breakdown. Right before he graduated, I swear to God, we had to drag him across the finish line. Then he got his shit together like I've never seen. He's killing it. He just got a new promotion at Walmart, man. He's over the biggest department in Walmart. It's called Fresh Food, so basically all the fresh food.
That's why they call it fresh food?
They call it fresh food. They call it fresh food. He's over all the TVs. So, no, but he's killing it. They're paying for the college. I mean, everything's good. But now she's graduating a year early. So she's going to be 17, and we just have no idea what to do with her. I said, well, what school do you want to go to? She wants to do criminal justice. One of the best is in Albany.
New York?
Yep.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303.
713 Talk. As happens once in a great while, we have wide open lines you can get right through. With a problem, question, complaint, or just a sound off. Just something.
Go back to the college discussion.
No, I want to. There's something I need to say about it. First, let me give out this number, 303-713-TALK. It comes right to the studio. 303 Martino works 24/7. It really does. We call you back. Now, I'm toying with an idea of giving out my cell number. It's a Google number that forwards to my cell for certain hours of the day so I can talk to people off the air. I'm serious now, and I want to know what you think of it. Do you think it'll be too much and I'll just get nuts, or will people actually call with problems? I don't know. I might try it.
I'm afraid they won't call the show then. But other than that,
I mean,
who cares?
Yeah.
I'll give out your personal right now if you want.
No, I'm talking about the Google number.
Oh.
Now, here's the thing. Colleges.
Well,
most of the people who are touting free education, and by the way, I'm for free college. I really am. I know I'm not a Bernie socialist.
Who pays
I'm not
for
a socialist.
it?
Well, let's talk about it. In the end, it's going to benefit society. So talking about paying for it, I look at it as an investment. Now, I'm talking about trade schools and colleges. I'm talking about training. When we train our population, we do not, this cycle of poverty we break. We do not perpetuate it. Poverty is perpetuated because people look at their parents, and people are born into a situation and often cannot get out of it because they don't have the money. That's why the rich keep thriving, because they put away college education money, and they put away money for health care, and they put away money to keep themselves thriving, if they're smart. Now, that is why it appears to be unfair, because once you're in a cycle of poverty, it's hard to get out. I was born into a cycle that was first wealth and then poverty, because my father left us, and he left us with a lot of crap. So I was really poor, but I broke the cycle. Breaking the cycle can have permanent benefit. But here's what I was going to say, what Mark wanted to concentrate on. I will take your calls, promise. Hold on. I just want to say this. The endowments that colleges now have, the most liberal, big, giant institutions who decry our system and who tout free education, right now, as it exists, without taxing one dime, without doing anything differently, as it exists, the Ivy League colleges have enough in their endowments that they can offer free education to everyone for eternity right now, as long as they keep investing and doing what they're doing without replenishing. I know it sounds crazy, but some of them have near $1 trillion. If you add them up, these are endowments that they've been given and that they have in their coffers that they reinvest. I'm telling you that the ones who are making the most noise are the ones who could simply open their doors. Now, sure, you'd still have to qualify, but you could offer free education. There are enough people who give freely of themselves that have built up these endowments to a point where it's possible today, right now. Now, obviously, none of them are going to do it. But it does show you that it's not insurmountable, that we could have a system whereby people get a college education. We could have that system right now. It's just that how much truly are people willing to give? I know that there are a lot of people that love talking about socialism, but when it comes right down to implementing some of these things, they don't do it. They just talk about it. And the same with people who talk about getting rid of fossil fuels, yet they're wearing or they have plastic. You know, plastic, first of all, is that's the biggest byproduct of petroleum, not gasoline. It's plastic. And so many forms of plastic, I couldn't even begin to tell you. Now we're going to talk, okay? We're going to talk about Monarch Roofing. We're going to talk about ceramic coating for cars. We're going to talk about buying a PC. Please stay on the line, Ricky, Daniel, Matt, and more. I'm Tom Martino. Don't forget referralist.com. I'll get right to the phones. Please hang on just a few minutes. 303-713-TALK.
What I wanted to ask you is you made the comment that your kids don't have a choice. So if they want to go to the military, if they want to be an Olympic athlete, if they want to do numerous things where it's a direct-to-job, you've already cut that out. I just find that out.
Military would be education, and so would a trade school. I'm
not even talking
trade not school. Capable, and they need.
How about a singer, for that matter?
No, they're going to college. They can sing on the side, but they're going to college.
I love that attitude.
They're going to college. Yeah. If nothing more, the social experience and the contacts. I mean, you can't screw somebody out of that. You can't. You know, Mark.
No. It's not a point of screwing him out of it. It's whether or not they want to do it.
I truly believe there's an overemphasis on it. But here's the problem. Most people all agree, so they're going to penalize our kids.
It's turning. I'm telling you, it's turning.
Well, it's turning just the opposite direction. More towards college.
Well, then why does the standard at
okay, here's what I want to know. Why would you ever want to strap your kid if a college education you can afford and it's out there? Why would you not do it? Tell me, just to prove a point?
No. Look at what George says.
You mean
George says, if I would have went to college, I wouldn't be here where I is today. He said that while he's sitting right there.
So what? So what?
Well, I'm saying that's why by strapping that.
If someone truly is an entrepreneur, going to college is not going to hurt them.
No,
they truly have.
George is saying without having that debt, he wouldn't have worked his ass off to get where he is. Was that the point he was making?
I think it was also the experience that he got doing that, and then his attitude got him to do that, whereas he went to college.
But what I'm saying is some kids say going to college would have held them back because they wasted time. But if you're truly entrepreneurial,
you can never say that definitively, man. No way. Justin Bieber. What are you going to do? Tell the kid not to make $8 billion while he goes to fucking Harvard?
I'm not talking about Justin Bieber or the 1,000th of 1% of the people that do it.
You can't say that definitive. And Bonnie could be definitive.
Well, Mark, fucking definitively is, if you look at the stats, yes, there are all kinds of examples of people who did well college. Okay, but mine isn't. That's it. Because they have a better chance with college. You're taking all the exceptions. But why go to 1/10 or 1% for the exception?
I know Bonnie just enough to say he could be that Bill Gates that drops out and creates Microsoft. He could be. He's a fucking smart.
He'll do it with college. He'll do it with college.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I mean, why would you not? I mean, when the odds are so lopsided, what is the fucking point? Yeah, there are
So what do you do when they're 18 and he says, I don't want to fucking
Then I say, okay, then you get zero support from me.
Okay.
Zero. You do everything on your own.
I did the same thing.
You want to make your own decisions, then you die by them and you live by them. If you want to go to college, I'll help you in every endeavor in life. But if you don't at least get the basic, you're done with me. Now, if he says, I want to go to trade school, fine, yeah. But here's the deal, okay? I'm not denying that there are people that do it without conventional college. But why? Why do you have to throw them into that small?
I'd hang myself.
Why would you throw them into a high-risk pool like that? Well, first of all, Mark, you can fucking take college courses and still work and still do everything. It doesn't hold you back anymore. You have online courses, you have on-campus courses, you have night schools, you have all kinds of ways to accomplish.
No, I had real bills, so I had to do that shit. So, I mean, I don't know what else to say. I got kicked out, dude, very young. So I had to fucking eat and I had to live. So that's what I did.
But that's the point is, whenever we talk about shit like college, and people go, well, what about so-and-so? So what? It's such a minority that why would you cast your child if this pool of people have 1,000 times more chance of succeeding than these?
My only point is the average Joe, if there is such a thing, can at 25 be making over $100,000 doing something like HVAC with numerous different companies, compared to coming out of CUCSU and for your first 5 years up to your 30 making under 45 grand.
I'm talking about the pool, okay? Actuarials. If you take a pool of college graduates and a pool of non-college graduates, you will find statistically the ones who've gone to college do better. That's not to say every single one does every single thing.
No, you're right.
So why bother going to the minority if you don't have to? I mean, you know, it's just like buying a new car versus...
Because a lot of people, their parents can't afford to pay for the college is number one. So now you got to think as a parent, reality.
No, I know
does my
that.
kid have $300,000 in debt?
That's why
the second he comes out making $40,000 a year.
That's why I'm advocating free college. But here's
It's not
the thing.
free. That's me paying.
You know, when I tell
That's
people, you buy a car with over 200,000 miles, it's a bad idea. There are people that email me every fucking night. Well, I want 200. I have 350 on it now. Okay, fine. So now you're going to advocate that everyone does that based on your minor, tiny little experience. It would be foolhardy. You go for the biggest chance of success. Sure, you're going to be throwing curveballs, but at least start out with the biggest chance. There's no reason to prove a point with your child's life.
But Tom, you're mixing college. You're saying college, but you really mean training.
Well,
right.
I mean college.
Military.
About 99% of the time I mean college. If they want to go to trade school, that's fine. But you know what? I truly believe that that English and all that kind of shit. I want to say something, okay? Present company excluded. You may think you're not judged, but you are. You're judged on how you write. You're judged on how you speak. You're judged on phraseology. You're judged on how you dress. And you may not think it's affecting you, but you know what? You don't know how it's affecting you because you don't know what could have happened. And I can make that argument just as well as you can make the argument that, well, look what I'm doing now. You know, it doesn't fucking matter. People judge you. And it does matter. Your knowledge of literature, your knowledge of history, your knowledge of use of the English language, your knowledge of communication, it fucking matters.
Depending on what you're doing.
Well, yeah, but it truly does matter.
I would agree with that. And
I don't like that it does.
The biggest challenge that I have, because I flunked out of college, is my kids said, well, you didn't go to college and you're doing well and so on and so forth. Now my two daughters have graduated. My son will, when he gets out of the military, go to college. And all I tell him is that, look, there were many doors that were slammed in my face because I didn't have a degree. It's just another tool in your tool belt.
That's all it is. It's not a
degree is a tool belt, but the problem with college is that they preach and teach that once you get that degree, you're going to be successful.
In a lot of ways, you got to unteach a lot of shit from college.
That piece of paper is not going to make you successful.
No.
Like you said, the people that are
But
going to...
you know what it does? It lets you mingle with people from all walks of life who are all fucked up, and it does give you tools for thought.
That's what the military does.
The military definitely gives you an advantage, but let me ask you this. If it becomes free and everybody's doing it,
it's nothing.
Then it's no longer a differentiator.
It's fucking nothing.
Everybody's on a level playing field.
Yeah, it's Obamacare.
I want it to be a level playing field.
No, it is. It's Obamacare. If you have money, you spend for it. If you don't, you go for free.
Obama is excelling.
Hi, Tom Martino. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Hey, you can read about the show at referralist.com. Go to About Us, but I'm not going to waste time now. Just tell you, Plumb Line's in the house from referralist.com for plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, and drains. We never have a one-topic show. Whatever you call about, we try to help. That's the differentiation. That's how we differentiate this show from others. I mean, we get involved if we can and solve problems. Now, Ricky's talking about Monarch Roofing. Now, this was the subject. Ricky, were you the one involved in this in the beginning?
No, I was not.
You're just calling about them. Okay. I just want to bring people up to speed. There was a case where Monarch Roofing negotiated to get a new roof for a guy, and the guy decided not to use them, and he wanted his money back, and they said there's a cancellation fee. Listen, I don't blame them for wanting some stuff for the work they did. They did negotiate.
But let's remember why the guy wanted them not to come anymore.
Because they couldn't get it. Couldn't get a permit apparently because they didn't have insurance.
They didn't have insurance.
Is that still the case? Do you know?
I believe I hope they have insurance.
Well, in any case, that was the situation. But I think they were negotiating some kind of settlement. I'm not sure what it is right now.
Yeah, they're up to the point where, from what my understanding is, they would get 25% plus what they paid to somebody to help them with the claim, which was an additional $6,000. So basically, they would get close to $19,000 and never started the roof.
So wait, the roofing company would keep how much?
$19,000.
For nothing.
Well, they're arguing not nothing, and the contract says 25%, and then apparently they have roughly $5,000 out of pocket going through the arbitration with the insurance company.
Okay. Well, in any case, what's your comment about it, or what's your problem, or what's your issue with Monarch?
Actually, when Monarch, I live in the Reunion subdivision off 104th and Tower Road, and when we had hail come in around about 5 years ago, we had these guys that came in pickup trucks. They're storm chasers when the hail came through.
Yeah.
And Monarch was one of the companies.
So therefore what?
Through. All right. Well, part of that is they, in order to do their free estimate, they wanted you to sign a contract for liability to go on your roof.
Yeah, that's just a trick. That when they say sign a contract so we can look on your roof for liability or whatever they tell you, it's usually.
Their free estimate wasn't a free estimate because if you did not agree to give your claim adjuster to them, then you were subject to that.
That's what I'm getting at. I mean, but they're not the only ones doing that, Ricky. A lot of roofers do that.
No, but they're the only ones that I know of that have a moron that comes on the air with me and tells me that they have some fiduciary agreement with the insurance company and all this other crap. Tom, I swear to God, I never heard of a line of crap out of any company like this.
And it is a line of crap. They do not. I just want to make this clear. Roofers do not have a fiduciary with you or the insurance company, okay? I just want to make that clear. Go ahead, Ricky. What were you going to say?
What I was also saying is in order to give you free estimates, I have rental properties, and I have plenty of companies that will come out and give you an estimate.
Excel Roofing. It's easy. You call them. You don't pay a cent to your content. They don't hold you hostage
and I want
to the contract.
I want to do a technicality here, too, and I'll let you continue, Ricky. Roofers or contractors are not allowed, literally and legally not allowed, to negotiate with the insurance company for settlement and to get more money. What they can do is talk about price, but they're not allowed to do this. Oh, it's going to cost this much. This is unreasonable. They can do that, but they can't say, we also need siding, and you need to do windows, and his coverage covers this. If they do any of that, they are stepping outside the law.
And that's why a public adjuster is so important.
Yeah. Anyway, so...
My biggest gripe with them is that they not only wanted my claim adjuster, instead of me, I said, I want to find out if it's damaged. If you guys want to look at it, I'm not going to sign a contract.
Good.
I said, and that was the biggest thing. And they were one of the ones that went through my community, and I found it to be very discouraging because if you're a good company, I'm going to tell you, you do not need to get 25% for just finding out what.
I agree with you. I totally agree with you, and I think we're all in agreement.
Well, and I think I want to go on record saying this. I can't believe that guy, the caller, wrote them a check directly from his account to Monarch for $40,000 before they did anything. I find it insane. Anything on the roof, I should clarify.
I find it totally insane. Totally. So, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Matt needs some advice. Go ahead, Matt. What's going on with you, Matt?
Hey, you won't believe this.
What?
It's been 5 years since I've had a computer.
Wow. Now, wait, story. 5 years since you got a new one, or 5 years without a computer?
Without a computer.
You're right. I don't believe it. You must have borrowed. Hold on. You must have borrowed someone's or used your phone or something.
My phone. So outside of my phone, I've had
A lot of people are doing that, yeah.
Well, we switched from a home office. I'm a farrier, and I
oh, cool.
A cool old roll-top desk. Long story short is no room for a PC, so I got rid of it. Was going to jump out and get a laptop for 5 years later. So I know you were an Apple guy, and
but I like PCs too. They're both good. They're both good.
I don't know what to get. I've asked friends and put it out there, and I get half.
Well, for you, you just told me. You should just go with a Mac.
Well, what's your budget? That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, that's true. You know what? That's the one thing about Apple and their proprietary.
I'm not afraid of spending the money if it's going to last.
It'll last. I mean, that's, though, this is something that really pisses me off about Apple. Sometimes, this really pisses me off. They stop the backward compatibility. So, I have some iPads that are perfect. They're perfect. But they can't take the newest iOS, that's the operating system, and therefore can't run new software, and they're not backward compatible. I think that's dirty.
Well, I'm not an Apple fan, but the reason for that, and I think it is legit on some things, like a phone, you need a certain speed processor. So if you're on a Model 6 and everybody else is on a Model 10 with more RAM and a faster processor, it simply can't run the new OS.
But Mark, PCs are like that too with the processors. They have to have some.
You're absolutely right. You're damn right. I get you.
So Matt, here's what I would do. Okay, I would go, and I love Micro Center. I would go there. That place has the most displays that I've ever seen, and I would simply try each one out. That's what I love about it, and then get what you like. The only reason I say Mac or Apple is they're just simple. They don't have, they're not inundated with dynamic libraries and what's called all kinds of DLLs. Those are the libraries and configuration files. They are, but they're not seen and they're not used. It's a very simple icon-based installation and deletion. You don't have to worry so much about cleaning your computer. It doesn't. Windows bogs itself down after time. If you know how to use a PC, usually you have to do maintenance, way more maintenance than a PC. Than an Apple.
My deal is I had a Samsung Galaxy phone the whole time I had smartphones, and then they got so big that I couldn't put it in my shirt pocket.
What do you want to do? What is your function? What is your mission?
Yeah,
what do you want to do?
Just to have, because when I do some emails, on the phone, it's pecking with one finger, and making some flyers. We put on some ropings, and I'd like to design some flyers now. The latest flyer I had to have made, I had to
like Tom said, man, go to Micro Center. You can look at laptops. They got a full Mac section, full PC.
If I were you, I'd get.
All I'm saying is that when I switched. I switched to an iPhone because I liked the SE, the size. It fit in my shirt pocket.
Yeah.
And I thought, the switch to an iPhone was going to be a big deal, and I've just loved it. I've never.
You know what? Back. You may also like an iPad.
Okay.
Because you can get a little on-screen keyboard that's bigger, and you can do more stuff. You may not even need a computer. But again, go to Micro Center, try them out. That's the bottom line. Try them out. Suzanne, who did you say you had an expert for?
I have an expert holding for line 4.
So let's find out what's going on with Claire. Claire, what's going on?
Hi, Tom. I broke my ankle a couple months ago and had to go to the ER, and now I'm fighting with the insurance company.
Okay, why?
Well, they put some of the information as an accident, which it was, but other stuff they put under surgical, which is really kind of confusing.
Oh, you mean the way they coded it?
Right. Now, they said, when I talked with Cigna, who is the insurance company, the guy that I talked with said that I was given pain medication injections. Well, I don't remember that.
Well, what difference does it make? Claire, they cover certain things and certain things they don't. I mean, that's the bottom line. Who's your carrier? Who's your health carrier?
It's Cigna, and it's carried under the NALC, which is National Association of Letter Carriers.
Okay, hold on a second, and let's get an expert on. We'll get Integra Insurance. They do a lot of interpretation for us of health coverage.
Well, hold on now, but listen to this.
They did, man.
I know, but listen,
he literally destroyed it.
Mark, why do you think that there are so many people that when you talk about that, they love Obamacare.
Because they get free health insurance.
Exactly. So you're saying that, complete your statement. They fucked it up for people
because
who had their own.
No, she's going to be the perfect example. She probably gets tax credits, but she's also looking at a fucking bill now that she can't afford to pay. She is the perfect example.
I agree they fucked it up. There's nothing good about it. Well, one thing good, the pre-existing condition.
Until someone goes to the hospital, they don't realize their free insurance isn't free.
That's the big thing there.
They have
But
no
there
idea.
are people, though.
Medicare, Medicaid.
Yeah, that they
Then we
love
go to
it,
single payer.
But it opened it up to millions that will never want to give that up. Millions. Hold on. What am I doing? Sorry, what do I have?
Same thing, argument.
He wants free college. Now he's arguing free health. Christ, he's going to be giving breakfast out.
Pro Auto Care is your car nanny. You know, what do I mean by that? Well, here's what I mean. If you go to Pro Auto Care just once, you have a guarantee and roadside assistance for 36,000 miles after that. So let's say you get an oil change somewhere in there, you have another 36,000 miles. And then let's say you need an alignment. After 28,000 miles, you get another 36,000 miles. So virtually, you're always within the roadside assistance family. And here's another thing. They will email you and text you whenever you need something like a nanny. So you don't have to keep track of your car, they do. And they can print out those reports for you. 303 Pro Auto, faster, better, and cheaper than dealers. 303 Pro Auto, 2 locations, Evans and I-25, Bowles and Santa Fe. 303proauto.com is the website, and the number 303 Pro Auto.
You know what happens? I'm convinced of it. I'm absolutely convinced, and there's nothing wrong with it, because I'll probably be in the exact same place. I bet you anything. As people get older, and I'm using you for an example, I swear to God, your entire views change from where you were. I bet we would almost be
liberal, conservative, I go back and forth.
In general, I think your entire overview of society, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I'm almost convinced it's a natural progression.
Right. I watch myself. But what do you mean? What have you observed about me particularly that you think changed?
Well, a lot of stuff. Once again, it's not in a negative way. I think it's an absolute progression.
What? Like, give me an idea.
You're a lot easier on stupid people. There's a good way to put it. You're much nicer to stupid people. I find myself, if I listen back to a show I'm doing when you're out of town, I am a real dick. There's no doubt about it. But I bet, as time goes on, I won't be. And not by any choice of mine. I think it's a progression. Honest to God. But then
I don't want to lose my fire, Mark.
But then I tie it into politics. I think going into politics, really, you start thinking college should be free. Everybody should have access to health.
I think healthcare and college are two things we can't just...
I'm just saying, I bet you would say 20 years ago, there is no way, because you paid for your own college, right? You cut your own fucking teeth. You did everything. And now you're saying, I think it should be free for everybody. I don't think you would have said that 20 years ago.
Because I see so many kids, minority kids and poor kids, that they just need a fucking... They don't want to stay like that. Now, Bob, you asked, what good is it if everyone does? I'm not saying you should... Well, no, hold on. You still have to excel.
You might as well add a 13th year in high school, and what the fuck?
I'm not saying they get a free ride for the sake of it. If they flunk out, they flunk out. If they don't excel...
Tom, do you realize any minority, 18, any white kid, any kid that's a fucking citizen in this country can join the military and get free fucking college. Free.
Mark, not everyone should have to go to the military, and the college is not as versed as in the open. You can't just go in right now.
Didn't you do the GI Bill?
Mark, they never did.
Listen to what he said, man. I know, he's 1 out of a million. That's not true.
I didn't say that, but you...
I mean, Dan's more
not
like...
everyone should have to go into the military. Not everyone should have to go into the military. Now,
no, but if they want their college and their boarding and their food paid for...
You bring up something, not the military, but you bring up something that's really interesting.
Service.
Maybe we should have... everyone does service to their country.
Like Israel.
In order to earn what you get.
Israel does that.
What would be wrong with that? Then you can't say discrimination.
Government position.
Because even fucking rich kids, if you have the money you still have to do a certain amount of service. And then you get to avail yourself. it could be military, or maybe it's some other way.
Yeah, I totally agree.
But then some poor kid can't say, I didn't get it. Hi, Tom Martino here. 303-713.
Genesis Total Exteriors. You know what that means to me? Honesty, integrity, quality, and experience. GenesisTotalExteriors.com. And really, they do interiors as well. Okay, they do the roof and the siding and the windows and the fencing and all that and the decks, but they do kitchens and baths and basements. 303-679-8509. Bob Logan's with us. Hi, Bob.
Hi, Tom.
What's your overall observation of college?
Well, I think it definitely gives you advantages. And I
should it be free?
I don't think it should be free because I think the reason
I use the wrong word, free, too. I agree.
The reason I believe college has so much value is because it's a differentiator. And once something becomes free, everybody is on a level playing field, which makes sense. But at that point...
But, Bob, what you're saying is that it's a differentiator, so if you're privileged enough to go, then screw you if you're not.
That's not what I'm saying.
Well, then what are you saying?
I'm just saying if... Let's just take high school, for example. Why can't everybody exit high school and make $100,000 a year? Why
no, only very few could, right?
Because people have set themselves apart by going to college.
Okay, if people go to no, listen. I think if everyone has the same opportunity and fails, so be it. But if you don't even get the opportunity, there are kids right now that probably live in an apartment somewhere with their parents, sharing a bedroom with 3 or 4 kids, and the only difference between them and my son is that my son will go to college, and they let's say they can't afford it, so they go to work for someone, and then they're trying to do this and trying to do that. Listen, I'm saying if they just had the chance, I'm not for giving away anything except opportunity.
I'm all about giving people
opportunity.
I'm all about giving people opportunity.
You're missing something, though.
It's like give a man a fish, you feed him for a day.
Opportunity should be equal, not money, not pay, not universal income. I'm not talking about that, but the opportunity. If some guy squanders the opportunity, screw him.
They have the benefit, though, your kids, regardless of the money, they have the benefits of the example you've been setting, the money you've made, the career you've
But why should another kid be punished because his parents were in a cycle of poverty?
You're missing me. Those parents might not push him to good grades. They might not push him to go into college.
But that doesn't mean the kid should suffer.
I'm not saying the kid should suffer. I'm saying how all of a sudden when they turn 18, you emulate, you brought them up a different way.
Well, I think if the school systems start treating everybody equally, first of all, and start... Look, I'm not trying to... I'm not a socialist. I'm just saying opportunity should be equal, nothing else. Just opportunity.
I'm all about opportunity, which is why I do what I do.
Okay, we got to get to our expert.
But real
because
quick,
he's
do you
taking
understand
time out.
my point is that opportunity is created by the parents most of the time. And it doesn't have to be in the form of a monetary... It doesn't have to be in the form of money. It's the fact that you make your kid do his homework.
Opportunities are usually seized by parents, and also the kids are programmed. You're right. The opportunities are out there even for underprivileged, but the problem is they don't know how to get to it or they can't afford it. I think that there's got to be a way just to open some doors for people. And Mark, I understand what you're saying, but just because parents aren't doing it doesn't mean the kids don't deserve it. The kids could deserve it.
But how do you change a kid that was raised one way for 18
I don't know.
years? No father,
I don't know.
Whatever it happens to
I'm
be.
not pretending to have the answer. I don't know how you do that. I think it starts with the school system. I think our school systems do a poor job of inculcating into children an entrepreneurial spirit. I think that schools perpetuate the idea of sucking off society and not being a contributor. They really do. And they never talk about starting a business. They always talk about getting a job. I mean, they don't talk about what made America great. And I'm not going to get on a Trump thing. They're not talking about the American spirit. They talk more or less against those principles.
Tom, the good thing about this conversation, and I truly believe, whether you're a conservative or a liberal, it doesn't matter. We all want the same thing. We all have the best of intention for our country and for our children.
I hope we do, yeah.
Everything. It's just the means on how we're going to get
That's right.
there.
You're right. You're right.
And
like the ideas of universal income or doing away with petroleum forever and petroleum. I mean, there are some people that are extreme one way or another. you know, the good thing about our government is you're never going to have anyone so extreme that they can move the entire country, because the country is a giant ship, and no one person. You know, we can't have a Hitler. I mean, we can have some people that are real jerks, but with the 3 branches of government,
right now our founders were ingenious.
Right okay, I understand. Suzanne is really upset with me, so I got to get to the phone. She got this expert on, and she says, "Tom, please, let's not take advantage of them." I agree with you, Suzanne. She keeps the ship moving. Okay, so Claire has a health insurance claim, and it's not being paid. The ER visit for a broken ankle because some of it was miscoded. Now, Claire, what was the total bill? I want to get to some black and white. What was the total bill?
For my portion or for
no, just the entire bill, everything, the entire bill.
Okay, it looks like okay.
For everything. I don't mean for insurance and you and copay, and I don't mean just for drugs or just for the doctor or just for the x-rays. I mean everything, total bill.
Okay. From Good Samaritan, the bill was $9,513.04.
Okay.
That was what they charged for everything. So that's without any adjustments or payments by the insurance company. Now,
that $9,513 was the total billable amount. How much do you need to pay if it was a perfect world? Not perfect world. I mean, if you had the money, how much do you have to pay out of pocket of that?
Opinion-wise, or what they're telling me?
No. What are they telling you? What is the system telling you? What do you owe out of that $9,500?
Okay, they originally told me $788.
No, I don't care about that. I'm saying, what are they saying now? Not what they said before.
Now they're telling me I think it's $825.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Out of a $9,513 bill, if we look at just the gross numbers, they want you to pay $800 basically, and you're upset about it.
Well, it's not that I'm upset about it. It's that I'm confused as to why some stuff was, according to the contract, to the brochure of the from the company, accidents are covered 100%.
Okay, Claire, I get it. Yeah. I get that you're confused, and you just want what's just. Here's what I want to ask. What premium do you pay a month for your insurance?
Oh, I don't know.
I'm just curious because I'm always curious about health care. Like you have a carrier that's a good popular carrier. Do you get any government subsidies?
Well, my husband worked for the government, so I don't know what you mean by...
I just mean, do you know what your monthly premium is for health insurance for your family?
No, I don't, since he was paying for it.
Okay, so listen, of the $800, it's a $9,500 bill. $800 is expected from you. You think that's wrong. How much do you think you should have to pay out of that? Without any explanation, I just need to know the amount. I don't care how you came to it. What do you feel after you went through all of your stuff? What do you feel you should pay where it would not generate a call to me? What would it be?
Well, if part of it was considered accident, I think the whole thing should be considered an accident.
So you don't think you should pay a penny because it's an accident?
Right.
I get you. That's it.
Yeah.
You gave me a great explanation. So, she has a $9,500 bill for a broken ankle. She's got insurance that says we pay 100% for accidents. So why the hell do I have to pay $800? That is a great question. So, I want to ask Jared. Now, Jared is an expert. He is not the guy billing her. He's with Integra Health Insurance. Claire, who did you say your carrier was?
Cigna.
Okay. So, Jared, why do you think Cigna is billing this and it's an accident? Are they saying, wait, it was an accident in the beginning, but later on it was converted to some treatment? What are they saying, Jared? Do you know?
You're absolutely 100% correct, Tom. It's how they code it. It's how they coded it and gave to the insurance company.
But does that often happen with an accident where some of it is considered an accident and then somewhere along the line it switches?
Yes, it happens all the time. And
does it happen incorrectly or correctly as far as Integra is concerned?
Well, sometimes it's incorrectly, sometimes it's correctly. I got to look at the EOBs.
Okay.
However, you can get codes changed.
Okay.
You can go to the hospital, go to whoever builds you the HR department,
all right,
and look at the doctor and how they coded it, and you can get it changed to where everything is under.
Claire, what parts were coded as a non-accident. Suzanne, what were you going to say?
They're pain medication injections is what they're saying.
Is that the 800?
I believe so.
Does it all come down to some pain medication injections?
That's what I was told, but I don't remember getting a pain medication.
Well, that doesn't matter. I mean, obviously,
probably because you got one.
No. Obviously, we got to figure out if you got it, but let's assume you got it. Okay. If you did get the pain meds, are you saying you still don't think you should have to pay?
Well, not $800 worth. No. Now they have to.
But why? I mean, if that's the cost, why?
Well, without the injury, she wouldn't need the pain meds. They wouldn't have given her the injections without.
No, I agree. It's an accident. The whole thing is just weird.
Well, but that's the whole thing. I mean, they're saying that they're calling it surgical because of pain medication injection.
Okay, Claire, let me clarify that too. That definitely needs to be changed because surgical is always prior authorized. So you definitely need to get that coded differently through the hospital to resend to the insurance company.
It might just be that. Now, here's what we're going to do, okay? Integra Insurance, by the way, Claire, everyone should go through Integra. Everyone. Unless your employer just gives you a plan and that's it. Then the employer should go through Integra. Integra does shopping for people. And it's free to them, really, because the commissions are paid by the companies and you don't save money going direct. I want Claire to talk to Jared off the air, and then I want Jared to report back on what they could do. You see, this is how we help people through the referral list. Integra Health Insurance is part of our referral list. He's going to help Claire, even though Claire's not a customer. And then we do that with Plumline. Plumline will help people. You know, we say, hey, Bob, did they really need this or need that? This is how the referral list works. We not only have good people ready, willing, and able to do the jobs, but they're also there to help people who've had problems. All right, so Integra Insurance, if you're looking for health insurance at any time for a life-changing event or during open enrollment, it's 303-466-5500.
Policy by AIG. So I get my health insurance through them, too. I use Kaiser.
1 minute, Raleigh House 60.
This AIG policy, it's for emergency room only. So if you end up in the emergency room, it'll give you up to $15,000, okay? So twice, my daughter ended up in the emergency room. She got rear-ended. I'll get $15,000. There's no subrogation. I literally put that 15 grand in my pocket. And when Suzanne and I got T-boned by some lady, they put 13 grand in my pocket. It costs
a real deal.
Yeah, I mean, it's paid me out almost $30,000 in 3 years. It cost me $450 a year for anybody in my immediate family. So wife, spouse, or whatever you want to look at, and kids that are under 21 or whatever. It's an incredible thing.
You pay taxes on
There's no subrogation, no taxes.
No taxes?
I'd have to ask my accountant on that. I don't know. I don't know if they said something.
The mic's going on, guys. Thank you.
It's incredible.
The Raleigh House is a treatment center for addiction. They have several locations in the Denver area, including beautiful rural settings where you have a rustic surroundings, equine therapy, and animal husbandry. It's a beautiful place, a wonderful facility. They also have urban centers. Here's the point. If you need addiction treatment or a loved one, call them. But this number I'm going to give you is not to sign up. It's just to get information. All kinds of information. For example, how do I know there's even a problem? What do I look for? What are the telltale signs? What does it cost? Are there free programs available, like the Salvation Army? What's that all about? And what are the different modalities? How does Raleigh House work? And what does insurance pay for? Whatever you want to ask, they will answer free of charge. You can call as many times as you want. They can tell you how to approach the addict in your life. Here's that all-important number. 720-730-9722. 720-730-9722.
Tom, in 20 seconds, Fuller Law 30 spot. Fuller Law 30 in 20 seconds.
Crazy, distant possibility to me. I'm Robert Evans, and it's my job to help
I totally disagree.
Welcome to It Could Happen Here, a podcast where every season I take some fantastic
How did I not
scenario
get that?
and explain how it could happen.
Oh, I'm so
And
pissed.
how it will look with or without problems.
John Fuller, Fuller Law. He's a personal injury attorney. If you need help after an accident, give him a call. Of course, take care of the car and the medical things, but you're going to need advice. Even if you don't think they're serious injuries, you may have caused injuries. How do you know? Call Fuller Law, free legal advice on any auto accident. And then if he takes the case, it's a contingency based on what he collects. John Fuller, Fuller Law, free legal advice, 303-597-4500, 303-597-4500.
You know, I'll give you another example. In Stern's new book, it's not out yet, but apparently he talks about all these regrets he has about different things. Like you were talking about how he used to do the bum stuff, and then he'd have women in studio, naked women, all this shit.
He doesn't regret that.
Yes, he does. Apparently in his new book he's talking about that. It's so ironic because literally the only reason he's sitting there is because of that shit.
True. That is true.
Yeah, but all of that exploitation is not popular anymore. He doesn't want to go down.
No, you're right. That's exactly why he's probably saying that.
I don't know, man. His whole, I've listened to him for years. He has literally changed a lot.
Do you think he's changed?
Oh, I swear to God.
Is he still crude on the air? Hey, do you do blowjobs? Do you swallow? No. He doesn't do any. He used to do all that shit. No, he would ask every woman, do you swallow? I mean, come on. That's disgusting.
But that's what made him.
You're exactly right. So if he regrets it, he could have just been a standard DJ in an FM station.
He'll get if anybody tries to attack him. Some of my favorite parts is when someone on The View tried to say something about him the other day. It's headlines on CNN and Fox. He's got 20 million people ready to go over and tear their fucking head off.
But he really was the original shock jock.
Oh my God, by far.
I listened to him.
But he really regrets, he apparently regrets a lot of that stuff, but the irony,
the most famous thing, remember the bass woofer shit?
The hypocrisy.
Integra's holding for line 1 now. This woman's being held for $40,000, being responsible for $40,000 on she went to the ophthalmologist for an eye infection. They put her on antibiotics. The next day she's not feeling her eyes.
15 years ago, when everything was
they
like,
tell her to go to the ER. They hold her for 24 hours. Now
a handful of employees. I bought health care through them, and if they went to a hospital, they paid like $250, and that was it. A prescription was $10. They could pick their doctor. Everything was fucking like so transparent. Now there is no transparency in the freaking healthcare. You don't know where to go. What are you going to tell the ambulance driver? Hold on, let me see if this is a Kaiser facility.
Before I go to the doctor, I do every research on the computer.
Tom had my favorite plan. He paid each month, and literally they denied everything.
Yeah, it's a good plan. Hi, Tom Martino, 303-713-TALK. Kevin's got a comment on this coding.
Because it seems like if something is miscoded, it's not paid. Go ahead, Kevin.
Hi, Tom. I have the same insurance, and this is an entity of Cigna that was created through the union of the National Letter Carriers Association that carries the mail for the post office. It's
but what is that?
To get the code changed or even identified as an accident when you go to the ER. My wife broke her wrist. We told them in the ER, you need to code this as an accident because it'll be paid 100%. And they still would not do it that way in the ER, or they did not understand how to do it. We had to fight and fight to get it changed afterwards. Like 2 months later, they've got all these bills.
Did you get through it, though? Did they change it?
Finally get it. Right. We got it resolved, and we got it all changed back.
All right. Now, hold on. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I got to take Julie because she has another one like this. Is it Cigna, Julie?
No, it's Alara Healthcare.
Alara. What is Alara Healthcare?
It's a health share plan, like a...
It's like your plan.
No. Is it? I don't have that plan now. Is it a Christian share?
Yes.
Okay.
Something like that.
But is it actually faith-based? I'm curious.
Yes.
Okay. Because I'm not sure what other share plans there are. I know there are faith-based share plans, and I'm not poking fun at the faith part of it, but what's funny about the share plans, I joke about it, that I had the privilege of paying $500 a month, and they absolutely did nothing. I mean, in fact, it was funny. No matter what I did, no matter what it was, I would get a letter saying, sorry, it's not covered. And I thought, okay, I'm just basically getting around the fine, the penalty, but I'm paying for everything. I have yet to find one thing, not one, that they covered. Not one thing in the time I had it. I had this MetaShare or whatever. So you have this Christian Share program, and what is the claim you're calling about? Let's bring up Jared over at Integra. Integra Health Insurance, Integra Insurance Group is they are our experts. They're not involved in this particular claim. Go ahead, Julie. Tell us about it.
I had an eye infection. I could not go to the eye doctor that I normally go to.
Now, hold on. This was ophthalmology. So were you getting a regular eye exam? What was it for, the regular eye exam?
No, I just had an eye infection and my eyelid was...
Oh, I get it. So you went to a doctor?
Yes, and I got a referral to go see an eye doctor. But
what did you, the first one, was the first one urgent, emergency, or regular?
No, regular.
Okay. And then they said you need to go see...
Well, yeah, so I went to the eye doctor. They gave me an antibiotic.
Mm-hmm.
I was on it for a little over 24 hours, and I called the eye doctor back the next day, a little over a day, and I asked if that antibiotic could be making me nauseated and a little bit, like, shaky, like I just wasn't feeling good. And she said, no, absolutely not. Go to the emergency room right now. I think you might be having a stroke. She was worried because my eye was a little droopy, and I had strokes like 13 years ago due to a...
How old are you, Julie?
Surgery.
How old are you?
I'm 55 now.
Okay. So did you go to the ER?
I did, because she kept calling my house.
No, I understand that. Yeah, we don't care about the reasons. Yeah. I mean, I just want to hear the story. So you went to the ER.
So I went to the emergency room. They were waiting for me because she had called them and said I was on my way. They whisked me in, and next thing I knew, they were running all these scans on me, and then they kept me overnight. They did more x-rays and scans all through the night. And it turned out that they couldn't find anything, and I wasn't having a stroke.
Good.
At the end of the day, they said they didn't know what it was. It could have been a possible TIA or something. And they released me like around noon the next day. Well, that was back in September, and now I have close to $40,000 worth of bills.
Now, wait. How much was, I'm going to play this game again, how much was the total bill, and how much are they asking from you?
The total bill, I haven't added it all up, but just for the hospital bill is like $32,000, and then all the additional fees.
But how much do you have to pay out of pocket?
All of it.
Well, wait a minute. Then what's this share for? What are they sharing? Just
They're saying I've called them numerous times to find out the explanation of benefits, and the only explanation they can give me is that it's pre-existing. And I keep asking, what is pre-existing? Because pre-existing is supposed to be, 2 years or less.
Because you had some before. You had some...
Yeah. So I wrote them a letter of appeal now, because they won't even tell me what they're saying was pre-existing. I don't know if they're talking about the eye infection or a stroke. I don't know what they're talking about.
Well, hold on. Let's see here. This is crazy. Jared with Integra Insurance. Jared, this pre-existing thing, first of all, I thought it went away with Obama, but not with the off-exchange programs, right?
Correct.
So these Christian share programs are allowed to exclude pre-existing, right?
Correct.
What part did they say was pre-existing, Julie?
They won't tell me.
What do you do when you can't get a response and you want to, what happens, and you want to dispute it? What do you do?
Well, you're going to have to go through many appeals processes. I've had to do this with one of my clients as well, Julie. Sorry to say, but it's going to be a long road, but we did get it paid, but it's going to be a long road in front of you.
Okay, so where do you start?
You start with the appeal process. There's 7 different appeal processes with Alira. So you got where you're at right now is where you start. I can give you some insight on who to call better next time when you call. I do have a contact with them, but it's going to be a long road.
Oh gosh.
Well, listen. If we could help you, we will. But Jared can help you on what to do with the appeals. But you have to do it. You're the one that has to do it. You have to fill out all the stuff. And basically, what happens, Jared, after she goes to her first round? They give her a result, right?
They give her a result.
How long does that take?
Get a letter back in saying why she was declined again, and then you can go into another appeal with other members of Alira, and then there's another appeal process after that.
But what ultimately, why do you think there's the further you go, the better chance you have?
The further you go, yes, because that's what they're doing is seeing if you'd give up, pretty much.
That is terrible what you're saying.
Well, and the whole thing is, too, is you got to remember, health sharing is not insurance. It's not insurance, and it says that over and over again. That's the problem we have, because we don't have the ability to go to the Division of Insurance.
Hey, so you can't do that, and you probably can't even get an attorney to go after them for bad faith.
You can.
Okay.
You can. It's just, is it worth it?
Goodness gracious. Okay. You, obviously, Julie, you can't pay 40 grand, I'm assuming.
No, I don't want to, no.
Well, at best, though, at best, what would you have to pay? Do you know? In other words, are we fighting this thing for nothing? For example, let's say, at best, the share program would have only paid 30% anyway. Can you pay it? Can you pay the rest?
Well, why would they only pay 30%? I thought it was like closer to 80 when you go to the hospital or emergency room.
The share programs I've never seen them pay that much. But Jared, if this was covered, about how much would be covered, do you know?
It depends on her. They call it an MSRA, so just like a deductible. It depends on her member's shared responsibility.
Yeah, what is your deductible, Julie?
You know, I don't know. I can pull out my
You have one. Hold on. We have to take a break. But you do have a deductible. It's all going to come down to that. See, this is the argument Mark makes. People aren't insured because if you have a deductible of 10 grand, it may as well be 100 grand for some. You're going to go bankrupt either way.
Sponsored by. And that's why they were getting
1
those
minute,
kids.
Cracker Jack 30 spot. 1 minute.
You know, when a 20-year-old kid was paying, it's only costing me $150 a month. I had a $5,000 deductible.
That's the whole point, man. And people that think right now they have this great deal because they pay $80 a month because of all their subsidies, they haven't gone to the fucking hospital yet. Then they'll be on my bandwagon.
Yeah. And they'll get a free physical.
Yeah, once a year. And you're covered for pregnancy even if you are a man. Thanks, Obama.
Jack 30 spot. 20 seconds. Pioneer 68. Right now.
Except, Mark, the people with Medicaid, oh my God, they don't pay anything.
One exception being an airborne car.
They don't pay.
Seen it covered. Talk to farmers.
We pay.
Okay, Ron. If you have sinking concrete, cracking concrete, heaving concrete, just bad concrete, and you're thinking, oh, I don't want to replace that, or it's in the basement, it's going to be so expensive. First check, Cracker Jack Mudjacking. They can repair probably 90% of all of those problems. And the other, if you do have to get it replaced, well, why not get an estimate first from Cracker Jack? It's free, and you may get off for pennies on the dollar. CrackerJackMudjacking.com, 303-410-7787, 303-410-7787.
People drive me nuts, man. Well, Fuller's just asked me, a friend is another roofing problem, man. I don't know. I don't know what company. But it's like, there's some things, and I don't know why roofers are so bad. My God, you've been doing this way longer than me. But how does an industry get so bad? I mean, how does it get so bad?
Storm chasers.
Yeah, you're right. There's a lot of weird things like that. It's a catastrophe because people have to react to it.
When there's way higher supply or demand than you have supply,
BrightLightDenver.com. That's BrightLightDenver.com.
Find out that they can get away with it.
But who the fuck gives someone 10 grand up front before they just knocked on your door, you have no idea who they are, you never met them, and they give fucking 10 grand?
They don't even have a last name.
This David called when Dr. Litoff was in from Icon
Same thing with
and had asked a question about his eyes.
Did he have a spot?
I forget what it was, but Dr. Litoff said, you probably have fluid behind your eyes or something. So he went to his doctor, and Dr. Litoff was right. So he wanted to tell, because you told this guy to call back. This This is David, the guy who said he got bit by a camel spider in Afghanistan. Remember, he came in?
Yeah.
What about him?
He said he got bit by a camel spider. Is that right, Dan?
Yeah.
Remember, do you know what a camel spider
Huge
is?
spider.
Dan or Tom? They're this big. They're this big in Afghanistan. Like they chase your shadow because they're trying to stay cool.
Oh.
Have you ever seen them, Bob?
No,
They're called
and I don't
camel
want to
spiders.
either.
You don't like spiders? Don't Google.
Spiders.
0100. Let's have a chat about
It's so stupid.
It's they're so terrible looking. They'll put their
Oh my God! Look.
They're called camel spiders because they could take down a camel.
For real?
No, because I think because they chase their shadow.
Have you ever seen a camel toe spider?
Oh my God.
So anyway, if Mark ever goes to
What do they
Afghanistan,
chase?
he's not allowed to come back to our house because you never know if they plant their eggs in your suitcase or your phone box. Don't let anybody in your house who's ever been to Afghanistan. Seriously.
Oh my God. They're not all that big, but man, the one was like over the guy's hand.
Call Frank Durant for a free market evaluation and see what.
Now, don't get that confused with the camel toe spider.
Go to Frank Durant, the real estate man. 303-920.
Did your dad should have shot you into the sheets.
How the hell does she live with you?
She moved in when she was 16. I mean, she's no different.
She knows no better.
She had selective hearing.
Dude, we were in a
Just an automatic tune-out.
We were in a step van together. Not only did we live together, I was 18, she was 16, but we worked together. I delivered snack cakes 8 hours a day. We were in a fucking tin can driving around Oklahoma and Kansas, and then the rest of the time we were together.
Did you save any of those snack cakes?
I saved a lot of them.
Come on, man.
I can't stand freaking snack cakes.
Are they the ones like the
Can't stand them.
pink frosting?
Can't stand them.
The ones with the pink frosting?
Had all kind anything Dolly Madison sold, we sold under our own label called Mountain Farm.
So they made it just for you, or were there?
I was the only one in like a 4-state region that sold that
other
brand.
people sold Mountain Farms.
Yeah, but the bakery, Flowers Bakery, had, they had probably, 20 different labels they sold around the country. All the same snack cakes. But I sold against Hostess and Dolly.
Did you drive around like the ice cream man, or?
Did you ever sell
stocking the shelves.
Oh,
Did you ever sell against your own factory under different names?
No, but sometimes they'd accidentally drop off my product. We had a warehouse. They'd drop off in the middle of the night. Pallets a case, man, pallets. They drop off the wrong one like Bluebird.
737 made an emergency landing.
Yeah, that was yesterday. Same plane.
What happened?
So
plane. I thought they grounded them all.
They did, but they were flying it to be in storage. No passengers, just pilot, co-pilot. They take off. Less than 5-6 minutes into the air, they're turning around because emergency landing.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Wow. Julie basically has a Christian share, medical share program. And she's finding out what a lot of people do. They don't really pay anything. I mean, they really don't. People say, oh, it's wonderful. Really? Have you used it? Well, no. But I only have to pay $300 a month. That's you're paying to get an EOB number, the explanation of benefits that says, sorry, we can't pay. Julie, this may be within good reason, who knows. You went to the ER with the idea you may be having a stroke. By the way, ER bills are ridiculous, and they usually negotiate if it's a self-pay. But you have a $40,000 bill, you're not sure, oh, they're not paying any part of it, you said. No part of it, because it's pre-existing. You need to get you're going to do the appeal, and good. And then you're going to be rejected on that one, and then you're going to do it again. And you're going to have to go through probably 3 of them. Maybe not, but here's the other thing. I need to know what your deductible is, because as we talked about, what difference does it make if it's $20,000 or $40,000? If you can't pay it, you can't pay it, and there's going to be a bankruptcy in your future. So,
is it 20? Is it 40? What is your deductible? Do you know?
No, I'm looking at the card and it doesn't say anything like that.
Could you go and find it? You got to go and find out. Because what I'm saying is very simple. Why bother? I mean, is there, how much can you pay? Let's put it that way. How much can you pay?
Well, I definitely, I'll have to pay because I definitely don't want to go bankrupt.
Can you pay $10,000?
Yeah.
Can you pay 20?
I'm sure she can negotiate that down a lot.
Because, you know, I haven't had strokes for 13 years, and when I had those strokes, it wasn't due to my medical condition. It was due to the fact that a surgeon nicked my main artery.
Okay.
And
you understand, though, that doesn't. I'm telling you, Julie, when it comes to pre-existing, that's what it means, pre-existing. That you had it once before.
It's supposed to be less than 2 years. It's been 13.
Yeah, oh, that's what it says. But I don't think that's the pre-existing they're going for. I think they're going for another pre-existing. I don't think it's the stroke part. I think it's something else, because ultimately you did not have a stroke this most recent time, right?
Well, they didn't say I did or didn't. They had no. They didn't think I did. No, there was no new
evidence. Did they, on the EOB, when they turned it down, did they explain exactly what the pre-existing was?
No, that's all it says is due to pre-existing.
Okay. Well, then, unless they put up, well, they're going to have to do it for your appeal. They will. I want you to keep us informed and stay in touch with Integra Insurance. David, hold on. I want to give David more time. Wally, you have a comment on this Christian share. Go ahead.
We have Christian MediShare, and last May my wife thought I was actually just driving back in from Oregon.
We're going to run out of time. I want to know, was it a good experience?
It was ultimately. I had a $10,000 deductible that I had to pay.
Can you hold on? I'd like to talk more about it. I'm Tom Martino for Ideal.
Home loans for your next Ideal home loan, because Ideal wants to make sure if they do refinance for you, they put you in a better position than you were in before. And being in a better position than you were before means you have a shorter term or a lower rate or both, or that you maybe consolidated some debt and then they can tell you how to pay off that portion of the principal faster. They also have credit optimization where they can help you tweak your
Why doesn't the guy just call in?
a few hours to get you even better pricing, or
Why
they
don't you
have
have
a
this
rate
guy call in?
guarantee.
Because it's a friend of Fuller's. I don't know who the guy is. I'm just talking to Fuller. I sent him SB 38.
Give them a call, 303.
But this contract does not look. I mean, Tom, would you agree that if a roofing contract has to be determined for the cost and to be determined for the start date, in SP 38 literally says scope of work and materials to be provided, cost for same based on damages known at the time of the contract is entered into, approximate dates of service. Can you use TBD? To be determined is an approximate date or cost?
I don't know, Mark. I just don't know. I mean,
fucking ridiculous.
did they use it to be determined?
All they did is put TBD on the contract.
No.
They have the cancellation dates.
Or online at yourmoneyyourretirement.
What's this guy want? To be out of it?
A statement that the contractor shall hold in trust any payment. Let me see if there's anything about in trust on here.
Give him the money.
He could plead guilty at this hour.
Owners agree that the deductible insurance fund
couple and abducting their 12-year-old
will be
daughter.
available prior to commencement.
Guilty so that Jamie Claus and her family
Next,
don't have to
deductible.
endure a trial.
Initials.
Versus Jake Patterson.
Terms. Owner agrees.
Patterson waived his preliminary hearing last month, and today appears
Shall be furnished in accordance with the agreement. Violation 33% of the appropriate cost.
Guilty to murdering James and Denise Kloss in October and to kidnapping the couple's daughter Jamie, who after nearly 3 months of being held captive escaped Patterson's home in January.
Fox's Jeff Manasso also due in court at this hour in Virginia. The man already convicted on state charges killing a counter-protester with his car during a white nationalist rally in Charlottesville in 2017. It's a change of plea hearing for James Fields Jr., who previously pleaded not guilty to 30 federal hate crimes. Facebook just confirmed it's extending a ban on hate speech to include categories it previously considered separate from white supremacists. Fox's Kristen Goodwin has this live. Going forward, Facebook says it will choose white nationalism.
Okay, I don't see anything about that.
The company prevailing in blog posts.
That looks like a legal contract.
See, anything.
Or representation
What do you mean?
of ideologies.
Well, because he didn't put the pricing in, he's gotta have pricing.
An illegal contract,
Right.
or an invalid contract. It's not illegal to have a bad contract.
This includes on Instagram. The shift comes following a conversation with civil rights groups and experts in race relations who have confirmed white nationalism and separatism cannot be meaningfully separated from white supremacy and organized hate groups.
So thanks, Kristen. Late reports that the British Prime Minister Theresa May is saying she now plans to step down once the Brexit process is finished. Though there's no set date for that to happen, it's still up for debate in Britain's Parliament. This is Fox News.
Are you drowning in IRS tax debt?
I owe the IRS $37,000.
Get ready for a toll-free hotline. Take advantage of new IRS tax forgiveness programs that may protect you from IRS collection agencies.
I think there's a ton of holes in this agreement, this particular one. It's horrible.
Property and levy your bank account.
When you're in the house, Bob, you have to do, if you sell something in the house, you have to give 3 days, right? Well, how does that work if you actually, no, I don't know if you do or not on a home service, because how would that even be possible? What do they do? Install a furnace and 3 days later the guy goes, I don't want it?
That's with regards to the selling of the products or services, it's not a 3-day right of rescission.
Because even though you're at their door.
It's the financing.
Oh, they can back out of the financing.
Yeah, they have 3 days to back out of the.
But that doesn't, I mean, that's what
it has nothing to do with our service. If they call back in 2 days and say, hey, I don't want to go through this contract.
How do they technically get around that, Tom?
Cancel the financing, but
any HVAC company, they come, okay, well, literally, they don't come knocking on your door. They're not selling it to your house. You're reaching out to them to come get you. That's how they get around the 3 day.
I don't know. You could make an argument that an HVAC contract.
Yeah, but you're calling them to your house.
It says in-home sales of the federal statute. So I don't know, man. I don't know.
Maybe because the work's already done.
No, I mean if it's executed, that's different.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. If it's executed. But you guys, if you guys sold someone a furnace and then you couldn't install it for a week for whatever reason, and they wanted to cancel the next day, you would let them cancel, right?
Absolutely.
Well,
these happens all the time.
No, but if someone wouldn't let them, could they actually say, wait, I got 3 days? That's where the question comes.
And of course, you go to the showroom to pick your countertop material. The actual.
You follow what I'm saying? I know you guys would. What I'm saying is, could they hold them hostage?
And then he slates you for template and installation.
I don't really answer that. All I know is that
communities and the front range.
The financing programs that give us 3-day right of rescission to catch the financing portion. But if they do that, they still
the financing portion is still the 3-day right to rescind on financing is federal, only usually based on security to get to your home. If they don't do anything, if they don't take a second, I don't think it's required.
How do you spell ambiguous, damn it?
A-M-B-I-G-U-O-U-S? To help your arthritic joints heal naturally. Check them out at downtownshealthcare.com.
Did you screw up?
Okay,
Or maybe not.
see, this is weird. It talks about, I'm reading it right.
Is this the federal?
But somehow,
Cooling off rule
now you must
is a regulation that was promulgated, blah, blah, blah. Okay. It addressed unfair sales practices at the place of business of the seller, door-to-door sales.
On DUIs. He has flat rate pricing. You'll know the price of everything.
Other than the place of business. In addition to sales consumers' homes, door-to-door sales include sales at facilities rented on a temporary short-term basis or hotel rooms and restaurants. I've often said that. You know, this 3-day right to rescind, man, if you meet someone at a restaurant, you have a 3-day right to rescind.
To protect your rights. Joseph A.
Say that again, Tom, please.
3-day right to rescind is not just in your house. It's at a restaurant or other places. It's other than
normal place of business. But couldn't you argue HVAC, the normal place of business, would be your home?
No, it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter because that's covered by in-home sales.
It actually says that, okay.
But here's the thing.
You know, there's a carve out just for
it says door-to-door sellers in this.
3-day on health clubs. Most people don't know that. If you go to Bally's, I see Bally's shit on date myself. If you go to 24 Hour Fitness and sign up, and it's any kind of long term, you have 3 days. They literally carved out a law just for people because they used to get screwed so bad.
There's also mortgage, charity pledges,
right?
Commercial telephone sales.
So you're saying if I donated to Jerry Lewis 5 years ago, I can get my money back?
No, 3 days.
And beyond. So
I heard he was a real piece of work, man. I heard he was a real asshole
along the way. Join me at 4. Did he die?
I think so. I'm not sure he died. I'm not sure either. I thought so.
Dino, the Troubleshooter.
Help me if you can, I'm feeling down.
Hello, I'm Tom Martino. This is a consumer show. I'm a consumer advocate. Basically, I invented it years ago. The format, first by newspaper, questions and answers and help. And now we did the radio show for more than 40 years right here in Denver, close to 40. We have a lot going on any given day. All you have to do is call 303-713-TALK. Or if you're listening right now on an iPad, a podcast, or you're listening online somewhere and you're somewhere else, you can call 303-MARTINO anytime, 24/7. We collect those calls. 303-MARTINO. That's 303-627-8466. And you'll get right through. Okay. So, Bob is with us from Plumline Services. They do home services, plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, and drains. I got a few emails we'll get to. David wants to give us an update on his eyes. Wally wants to comment on Christian Medishare. Now, I shouldn't say Medishare. I believe that's the actual name of one of the programs. But in general, Christian Share programs or MedShare programs, they are really not worth much. They have big deductibles, and they have they're terrible. I mean, you pay, and it gets you around the mandate, but they don't cover anything that I know of.
You used to get so mad you'd come in and anything you put in, man.
Nothing covered. I mean, nothing. I said, why do I have this? Wally, on the other hand, he says he had an experience that was not entirely negative. Go ahead, Wally.
So last May, I was coming back from a trip, and as I was coming through Fort Collins, my wife called and said that she thought she was having a mini stroke.
Wow.
So as soon as I got home...
What were her symptoms?
Basically what the last girl described.
Eye droop and all that?
Eye droop.
So what happened?
Well, ultimately, that's not what it was, but we went to Littleton Adventist, spent most of the night there. The hospital bill came to almost $19,000, and then the follow-up care at the neurology clinic over at Porter Hospital, all said and done, it was close to $25,000. We had to pay our $10,000.
How much was it altogether?
It was almost $25,000.
Okay.
With the follow-up. We had a $10,000 deductible, or they call it a share, and we paid that. But since then, and my year runs from April 1st through March 31st, so everything that's occurred since then has been covered 100%, other than regular doctor visit. I have a $35 copay, but I just had a physical. I'm getting ready to go for a colonoscopy on Friday to get it done before the 31st because it will be covered.
Think of how many people, though, don't have 10 grand. This guy had 10 grand. Think of, seriously, how many people don't have it?
But your monthly premium that you select is based on the deductible that you want to cover. So the more deductible you have, the less you're paying per month.
I know.
So
I know.
It's all based on that. But where I think she's hung up, and I'm with Christian Medishare, that's the proper name of it, is that any pre-existing condition, it doesn't matter how old it is, they won't cover it for 3 years. So she kept saying, mine is over 2 years old.
I thought she said 13.
No, hers was 13 years ago.
Right, but she keeps saying, Christian Medishare said, because she kept referring to being over 2 years old. Where I think that she's confused is if she reads the fine print, she won't be covered. She has to have their insurance for 2 years before they would cover anything that was pre-existing.
I think she had Alert, didn't she?
I
don't think she had Christian Medishare. I think she had
No,
Alert.
she had a different one. She didn't have yours, but anyway, she had a different...
But I still think she's hung... I think she's misunderstanding that they're not going to cover it. She has to have them for 2 years before they would cover it.
I get it.
But I agree with Mark that if she tries to negotiate these things on her own, my bet is that she can get them down to between $10,000 and $15,000 if she is a cash pay and not, because if she's got a deductible somewhere in there that she...
No, I understand.
Let me tell you how outrageous these hospitals are, Tom. So Addie gets T-boned. Our initial bill from the hospital was $36,000. Of course, we hired John Fuller. John Fuller got that bill negotiated down with the hospital to $10,000. Look how much they inflate those bills.
Over triple. David called when we had Icon Eye Care as a guest on the show. And I said, would you give me a follow-up? David said he had a big, I believe he's the one with a big spot, right, David?
Yeah, I had a gray spot that was building up in my right eye.
And by the way, that could have been, I just want to say something, and what we didn't want to say on the air, that could have been a number of things, and we feared a number of things, and we said, go get that checked immediately. It could have been a stroke, it could have been MS, it could have been a torn retina, or it could have been something else.
Diabetes, untreated.
Yeah, diabetes does more of a deterioration of the site than an actual spot. But it suddenly occurred, didn't it, David?
Yeah, it came on pretty rapidly.
So anyway, what did it turn out to be? I hope none of those serious conditions.
No, nothing like that. I can't remember the name of it. If people go back to the day that the doctor was on the show with you,
how did they treat it? How did they treat it?
It's one of those things where it can potentially go away on its own, and if it stays for an extended period of time, then it can be corrected through like a laser surgery.
It sounds like it sounds like a retina tear or detachment.
I don't think it was like a detachment or a tear. It was like a fluid that builds up in there. It's for people it's more common in males in their 30s that are type A personality.
And it's like a little weak spot on the eye, right?
That's the way that I understood it. It was just a buildup of fluid in the eye. But,
right. Well, I mean, here's the thing. It's what they're talking about. They're talking about the fluid behind, and it usually either detaches or tears the retina, or it shows up and it looks like a mini aneurysm. It looks like a little bubble. And you're right. What a laser would do is create scar tissue across that chasm and make it thicker. That's how they kind of sear it, but they're letting it just sit there. Is the spot gone right now?
It's beginning to go away. It's kind of weird. It's kind of like looking through a donut sometimes. The center of it is starting to clear up, but the exterior of it is kind of still present. And then I have my normal peripheral.
Did you, by the way, where'd you go? To a private doc somewhere?
I went to an optometrist in Colorado Springs.
An optometrist?
Yes, and then they referred me over to another office where they had like the special tool to.
But they had but then you did actually talk to an ophthalmologist, right? A surgeon or a doctor?
No.
Okay.
No, they had the tool in another office of their branch that they were able to peer into the eye and get it diagnosed as that. Oh.
Good.
I had that yesterday.
All right. Well, I'm happy that you're happy, David, with that follow-up. Thank you for calling us. We wanted to hear about that. John's got another comment on the Christian Share program, or one of them. John, go ahead.
Hey, Tom, just so you know, I've listened to you for 38 years.
Thank you.
My father turned me on to you when I was 12 years old.
Thank you.
You're making him feel young.
Yeah, so what's happening?
Hey, listen, I mean, again, I love you guys, but you're just giving out bad information about Medishare.
What's the bad information, bro? What's the bad information?
Well, I've had it since 2005. I only have a $2,500 deductible. A family of 4, I'm paying $700 a month.
Okay.
I've had 2 major surgeries that have been 100% covered minus my deductible. It's not insurance, but if you treat it and act just like insurance, you go. There's a list of in-network doctors that accept Medishare. They allow Medishare, like urgent care. Like if my kids are sick, I go to an urgent care. They don't bill me right there. They send the bill into Medishare. Medishare negotiates the bill down to a lower price, and I pay the difference. It acts.
But here's what I still don't understand, John. John, here's what I still don't understand. I get you, and I believe every word you're saying. But I'm not giving out bad information. That would insinuate it was false, and everything I said was absolutely true. It covered nothing that I submitted. So you're telling me why? You're saying I should have gone to some preferred provider, right? I mean, I'm not sure if we had the same program, but maybe we did.
Christian Medishare
right.
out of Florida, and they provide you a list.
Oh.
And if you go to the doctors that are on that list that accept the Medishare, they allow Medishare to negotiate lower rates. If you have to have surgery, you can go and you look at.
So you're saying that a doctor bill that I got would have been covered had I gone to their provider, or it would have been partially covered? I still have to meet my deductible, right?
You have to meet your deductible. I had a $2,500 deductible. I had a hernia surgery, and I went.
How much money did you pay a month?
For a family of 4 right now, I'm paying $700 a month.
That's cheap. 700 plus with a 20. Then 2,500 is pretty low. So your deductible is 2,500.
Yes.
Okay.
And you can get it as low as $1,250.
But why would you?
Right. Exactly.
I mean, that would be too expensive, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but I appreciate you a lot.
Do you like? I mean, so you really like? You still like the program?
I have not had one problem with inside the network.
What about prescription drugs?
Really, they send you a card. I've never had real good success. And the one thing I will comment on, I've never had to experience Medishare inside an emergency room or my family members. It's always been through either, oh, we're sick, we go to the doctor, we go to a provider that's on the list, or we plan a surgery, we go to a doctor that's inside that's willing to accept Medishare. Just like insurance companies, but it's not insurance, you know?
Yeah.
It's just a shared pool of money by a bunch of Christians.
Well, thank you very much, John. I appreciate it.
Sponsored by Farmers Insurance.
We are farmers. On 1 minute, Centeno 60 spot. 1 minute. Pretty good news that earlier wreck on the west side eastbound 6th Avenue, approaching Union. Looks like that's been cleared. A bit of a mess there for about an hour, but it looks like they've got things cleared out of the way. Traffic flow getting back up to speed. Got a crash on the east side of town, though. Eastbound I-70 at Havana. Right lane is blocked. Solid back up to the elevated portion. Back to page.
Did you get that one I sent you?
I did. I forwarded it over to Matt, my service manager, to take a look at it.
The weather forecast. Partly sunny, warm with a high of 75 tonight. Tom, 20 seconds, Centeno 60 spot. In the Mile High City, and we're sitting at 68. With your traffic and weather, I'm Pete Wagner. 6:30, K-How.
At Farmers Insurance, we know every windshield collision has a unique sound.
Mike's going on. Don't take this lightly when I tell you, Dr. Chris Centeno, right here in Colorado, was the first doctor ever to use stem cells in a clinical setting. He invented the therapy. He really did. Back in those days, they were allowed to concentrate these cells and make them really strong until the FDA said you can't. But he still does living stem cell therapy. Please avoid the fakes. Basically, any chiropractor that ships fluids in, they are not doing living stem cell therapy. It doesn't matter. They're not doing it. They're fake, phony, and ripping you off. Now, Dr. Chris Centeno, he perfected this process and started a string of clinics called Regenex. And Regenex clinics use this method too. Dr. Chris Centeno from Centeno Schultz. The website, avoidsurgerytoday.com. Avoidsurgerytoday.com. 303-963-9201.
So I did that eye exam yesterday, and they have this new machine that takes these photos of your eye.
Yeah.
I had no idea they can screen for
It's not new, by the way.
3 diabetes, high blood pressure, of course glaucoma, all the eye shit, but I had no idea they could tell if someone had high blood pressure or diabetes because of the eyes. No fucking clue.
Untreated diabetes, right.
Untreated.
But high blood pressure for sure, yeah.
I just had no idea. Did you know that? You knew that.
Yeah, when I did this, they did the test, yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah. It's amazing what you can see.
In your eyes. You notice what you did? It's amazing what you can see when we're talking about eyes.
But we won't be fools. Call Governor Polis and tell him to veto SB 181.
Okay, guys. Mike's going on.
Talking about hard ground.
Simply Floors, Inc. Now that's Inc. as incorporated, I-N-C. Simply Floors, Inc. Buddy Mitchell and the team. Let's just put it this way. Cheaper, better, faster. That's it. You'll save up to 50%. Normally 20% without even thinking about it. He just passes the savings on to you. He has strong buying power because of his buying group. We love SimplyFloorsInc.com, where you can make your own appointment or give them a call, 456-4660. That's a 303-456-4660. The showroom's at 52nd and Ward, the southwest corner.
Common disability in the United States is, if you have arthritis, you're correct. Downtown's Healthcare has developed a proprietary regenerative technology.
What's a liberal arts degree good for?
Nothing.
Okay.
But here's the problem, Mark.
Political science considered liberal arts?
Here's what I think. This is another stupid thing. They should take high school and that first 4 years of college and combine it. You don't even, it would be a 5 or 6 years. Yeah, man. No. Actually, the secret is, Mark, a bachelor's degree is full of shit. Do you know how you can tell? Do you know that they have courses that you can take an entire semester in 30 days because of the intensity? Because classes meet for 3 hours, right? 2.5 maybe, and they meet 2 days a week, right?
Yeah.
Or 3 days a week.
Depending.
And that's the entire course. If you concentrate that, over a summer, you can do more than a semester. You could do so many courses. People just don't, when it comes to college, for some reason we spread it out. We don't economize on it. That this notion of school buildings not being used, it's ridiculous. They should also allow people to do night school. I mean, regular students. What if your fucking family doesn't want to get up early? What? I mean, why wouldn't they have 2 shifts of school?
Well, internet's the best for that kind of stuff, though. They have come so far in these internet colleges, it's crazy. And you can't cheat. I'd say it's almost impossible to cheat. Watching Miles do it.
I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. So happy to be here. Honest to God, I love doing this show, and I thank you so much for the privilege. I invite you to write to me at any time and let me know what you think or what we can do to improve at help@troubleshooter.com. Let's go to the phones. Help@troubleshooter.com. Norm's got a comment on that eye call where the guy said he had a spot, turned out to be fluid against behind the eye or whatever. And Norm, what's your comment?
Hey, yeah, I can't remember what the doctor called it. It was either CSR or CRS, and it's when you know it comes with stress. I guess you get a bunch of stress, and you develop a lot of cortisol in your body, and it creates pressure behind the retina. And it looks like we've all been stupid and looked at the sun, and then tried to look at somebody. You can't see their face. It's just a shadow.
Yeah, did you have a spot like that?
I did. I currently do, and they tell me it's because of stress, but I don't really experience that much stress.
Well, I'll tell you. Here's the deal, okay? Eye problems are scary because they can be really serious or they can be minor.
Right. Hey, and I also wanted to say something, Tom. Thanks for calling out all the scumbags, man. I really enjoy what you guys do.
Thanks for listening, and why don't you come in one day, Norm? Talk to Suzanne. Suzanne, see if he wants to come in one day to visit. We invite people to come in and visit. Okay, I got a clogged drain. What do you mean that you'll clear for $93 or if it's free? So how long do you stay there for $93? Bob, that's the question. What does it mean, 93 or free?
93 or free, so that is designed for a backed up drain, and so we will go in, we'll spend up to an hour, run up to 100 feet of cable. If we can't clear it, then there's no charge for the call. No,
but you do give them a reason you can't clear it usually, right?
Yeah. Well, if we
or is there an additional fee for that?
No. If we can't clear it, because we can't see underground, so we never really know what's going on. It could be a collapsed line. It could be something else. So if we can't clear it, we'll get a supervisor out there. They carry cameras on their truck. We normally charge for a camera, but in this case, we'll typically run it for free.
If somebody's inclined to get it fixed, I mean, you're not going to go out there just for grins. I mean,
if we can't clear it, we will, because we want to know too. We want to know why we can't get it cleared. And
do people usually go ahead and fix it? I mean, they should if you can't clear it.
You know, not always. We
try
to give them options from more cabling to jetting to a spot repair to a full line repair. We give them a bunch of options.
Right.
But sometimes people are convinced that they can just continue to cable a line year after year after year, and that's fine. but you're not fixing the problem, and the problem's going to get worse.
But sometimes it just needs a cleaning, and you don't have to redo it.
Well, again, it depends on the situation, on why it needs clean. I mean, the only reason now if your kid stuffs something down there, and like a teddy bear or something like that, yeah, just clean it out, and if the line's fine, the line's fine.
What's the most reasons you do cleaning?
Tree roots.
Okay. And they keep coming back.
They'll come back. They'll get thicker. They'll get stronger, and sooner or later, your line could collapse. And I don't know if that's going to be 6 weeks or 6 years or 36 years. You just never know.
Alan, you negotiated your health bill, and after Alan, we have wide open lines at 303-713-TALK. Alan, how much was the bill?
Hey, Tom, I've been listening for years.
Thank you, man.
The bill was not huge, but I thought your viewers might find this interesting. 2 years ago, my girlfriend's on my health insurance, and she has to get an MRI. It is pre-approved by the provider. It is pre-approved by Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Okay.
And of course, after the MRI, a month later, we get a bill for $5,000. I mean, it's not ridiculous, but it was $5,000.
Holy crap, that's a lot of money, right?
Well, the insurance company denied it. So I called, to Sally Job's credit for MRIs, I called Sally Job, and I worked with them, and they said, don't worry about it. We will appeal it. It'll get straightened out. Change the code, letter of necessity, whatever's necessary. Well, this went on for a year and a half, and I have never...
Is that how much, by the way, is that how much an MRI is? $5,000?
Well, that's how much they charge.
Okay.
So that's the point of this call. So after a year and a half of the provider saying, don't worry about it, it'll be taken care of, we'll appeal it, we'll take care of it, Blue Cross Blue Shield kept saying it wasn't necessary. Well, we had a letter of necessity. So finally, we're told after a year and a half, I get a bill from the provider, Sally Job, for $5,000. Of course, I was like, I'm not paying it. I've never not paid a bill in my entire life. My first phone call with Sally Job was, I'm not paying it out of principle. You told me it was covered. You told me it was pre-approved.
Yeah, pre-approved, not just covered, but pre-authorized.
I found out pre-authorized, pre-approved really means nothing. The fine print says it depends how the bill comes to the insurance company, blah, blah, blah. So they wanted my phone calls. I called them every month for a year and a half. Someone had told me the self-pay price for an uninsured person was about $500 for the same MRI. So I said, listen, I'm more than happy to pay you the $500. I'll give you a credit card right now. And they said, no,
pretend I walked in off the street, and then I'll pay.
Exactly. Well, they told me I could not do that because I have Blue Cross Blue Shield, and they have a contract. The provider has a contract with Blue Cross Blue Shield. They have to charge that amount. And so I said, fine, I'm not paying anything. They called back and said, oh, we can put you in a payment plan.
So what happened?
The long story short, I finally got a supervisor, and she said to me, if I can get the self-pay approved, will you pay it? I said, I'll pay it right now. She called me back an hour later. I made her send me a bill that showed $5,000. They subtracted $4,500. The balance due $500. I paid them immediately, and that was it.
That is so cool. That's a real life story. What plan do you have right now?
I had a Blue Cross Blue Shield.
What do you have now?
Same thing, Blue Cross Blue Shield PPO. They've been great, but it was just that.
Who do you have it with? Who do you have it with?
It's through my employer.
Okay, so do you pay anything toward it?
Oh, I do. It's probably $500 a month, and my employer probably pays another $1,000.
God, what? Oh, that's for the whole family?
Yes.
Right.
Me, my fiance, and 3 kids.
All right. Thank you, Alan. 303-713-TALK. We have some people being racked up on the call screener. Bob, what did you have to say?
Well, I wasn't really going to comment on the call, but since we're talking about health insurance, that's the great thing about working at Plumline, Tom.
Do you offer that?
We pay 100% for the employee and the family.
100%?
100%.
Holy crap.
And,
you see, that's when you think about that kind of stuff, and paying people, and, that is why I always give this example. You can't for $149, you say 140 or 200, whatever. I can buy that outlet. I can buy that at Home Depot for, $1.29, and I can do it in 15 minutes. But really, companies, they have to aggregate cost. So the really expensive stuff, becomes less expensive. The really cheap stuff becomes more expensive, but they have to take into consideration all of the people working every day, doing all of the insurance, all of the requirements. You know, here's something. I think pricing is important, and I think you should give great values. But I think one thing is bad, and that is when you have a guy in a pickup truck who doesn't do things right, who cheats and lies and doesn't have insurance, doesn't have this, doesn't have that, doesn't pay taxes, and then competes with guys who do. That's the one thing that always has bothered me about these people. Not that they don't know what they're doing, but it's kind of like unfair competition.
It really is. And there was actually a story on the news last night about a lady in Denver hired a plumber, went out, did a handwritten contract on a piece of notebook paper. She paid him money up front. He didn't come back. He did part of the job, didn't come back. When she finally got a hold of him, he said, well, I was in jail, and I had to use the money that you gave me to bail myself out. I mean,
that's a great story.
We hear stories like that all the time.
Well, that's why I'm here every single day. All right. Lee, we'll take your call right after this. I got to take a quick break, and we have time for more calls, too. Plenty of time. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255.
This is
I
Denver's...
would like to ask Alan how he got his girlfriend on his insurance.
What do you mean?
That was his girlfriend with the MRI. How he got her on insurance. I know why. He said she was his wife.
You know, well, actually, because of the gender thing, you don't have to say that. You can say
health insurers
when you're partner.
But
that would also be a thing that now is common law.
They can use that against you, right? But only if you both agree to it. In other words, if I put you down as my spouse on an application, we're not legally married.
Online mattress retailer Casper.
The only time that would, it's actually not, and that all came out before with the gay marriage thing. If I want you to be my partner, I can. Here's where it becomes bad. If one of you then wins a lottery and says, "Oh, I wasn't married," they can use that as evidence against you. But a third party could possibly use it against you. But why would they do that? Maybe for a family doctrine, they would say,
imagining
this car was for the family. She signed on it, but you still owe for it.
Really?
But marriage usually doesn't matter to anyone but the two participants. So I always say common law. What does it take to be common law? It takes agreement. That's all it takes, or proof. But the proof without agreement doesn't matter. Even if you have an application where you both claim to be married, if you both now claim you're not married, there's no one to dispute it. Man, are we coming up soon? Because I have to go.
He's been talking so much he forgot he had to go.
I got water.
I got this. Give me the talking points.
I might give it to Mark. I mean, how long do I have? Seriously, he's funny. Morgan's got to go. I didn't hear you.
Well, I get it, man. I'm the same way.
40 seconds until the paradigm spot.
I've had
good news here. There's a trash can right there. There's some paper cups right behind it. Cleared out of the way.
Go right here.
Forecast. Partly sunny today, warm with a high of 75 tonight.
Bring a barf bag in from your plane.
Tomorrow, 20 seconds, paradigm 30 spot. Right now it's both.
Mark might have to start. Please remember this. My bank, my loan, myway.com. Okay, that means you get a loan, and every penny you have in the bank counts against the principal for your home loan. So it's like you artificially paid it down. So if you have $1,000 in the bank for 3 days, it's like you owe $1,000 less on your mortgage. It's really a cool system, okay? But here's the bottom line. You pay on your house off faster and you pay less interest. My bank, my loan, myway.com, now even available for a second. 720-931-6560. 720-931-6560.
Services offered only by newly registered individuals through AP Wealth Management LLC.
The only solution
So here's a question I got that common law thing.
better way for your body to heal.
So you put one
I'm talking
lady
about
down on your
serving
insurance,
Denver since
and you say buy a car loan with another lady.
Your body
Could they get
regenerates
you
naturally.
for
Check
common
them
law?
out.
We
And
wouldn't have
downtown
more than one lady.
That'd be common, what's that called? Common bigotry.
Yeah.
Not bigotry.
Is that bigotry? No, it's not bigotry. What is that?
Bigotry is prejudice.
Yeah.
What is it though? Bigamy.
Bigamy. Would that be bigamy if you had multiple common law that they could come into?
You know, I'm really quite surprised that they haven't said, hey, if you want to be married I mean, you can marry anything right now. You can marry a cat.
It's getting ready. Well, I mean, I don't think you can. I'm gonna call you on that one, Bob.
You know, Frank, what I love is that ideal home.
Hey, I identify as a cat. And if I want to marry another cat,
it's a fellow cat.
That's my...
Hey, there are those,
good point.
There are those wackos that dress up as the Furbies or whatever they
Are you
call
talking about the Furbies?
My kids, in their last school, when we lived in Castle Rock, it was called something View. There was kids every day that would go to school that had fucking ears and tails. I am not kidding you. I would drop my kids off and go, what the hell are these kids?
I'm serious right now.
What the hell are these
Is
people?
ordering a pizza for a new air
Real
conditioner
Furbies, they have like
priceFixerDenver.com,
people
but
come
it's even
together
better
and
than
dress
that. If
in
you don't
them
need a
and
new
have
unit, if your
in
existing
their little
units
costume.
break down, they will send a technician out. They call them True Tech Certified Techs. And the reason they do that is they don't work on
You know
commission.
Todd, don't
There's
you?
no reason for them to upside or do
Terry.
anything else. They simply don't work
He
on
owns
commission.
Apple Air.
They're all hourly. Listen
Oh.
to what I'm saying.
That's who owns
no
the Price
part
Fixer
sales when they get out there. They're going to fix what
Have
they
you
want.
looked at it?
A lot of fixes
You order
are
it
as low as
online.
$79, some
I disagree. I like
$149,
it.
but there's never a trip
What
charge.
don't you like
There's
about it?
never a
How
diagnostic
successful
fee.
is
The
it?
lowest
I have
price
no idea.
guarantee,
So it's
never
Jim
a trip
Abrams.
charge,
Yeah.
and never a diagnostic fee.
Isn't he the one that
Yeah,
didn't
but
we
when
use
you
started
order
with this
PriceFixerDenver.com, and if you
It doesn't
recently
work,
bought
'cause people
something,
go
go there and
on,
see how much
and
it
they
would
don't
have
know
been.
what the hell they're looking at. They're saying, I have no
PriceFixerDenver.com.
idea. What's a 95%?
PriceFixerDenver.com.
What's
If you
an
want low
80%?
monthly payments,
How do I
Century
know what size I
RV,
need? I don't
they
know what
have a
size I
wide
need.
There's truth
selection.
to that. There's truth to
Mark,
that.
there's back in 30.
Two
I'm
locations
in the
out west
business,
of the
and I
city,
couldn't figure out
just
how to
north of
order
6th Avenue
a
between
Furby.
Kipling and Sims.
And I'm not
next to
joking.
Woodward.
I went on,
and then you have
I tried
Century
to
RV up north on the
work it.
119
I
turnoff
compared
to
our
Longmont and I-25, and there's a service department
Is
up
that Tom
there.
did it?
New and used,
Well,
great
yeah,
service,
use it.
great selection.
Yeah, we don't serve
CentryRV.com.
You didn't want to hear the water go out.
353-1111.
Denver Stock Station, 630 KHOW.
All right, 303-713-8255. Man, we've got a lot going on. Tom should be back any second. I'd go to the phones, but the phone's too far away, so I'll talk to Bob Logan. Bob?
Yes.
Can I ask you a question?
Ask me what you want, Mark.
Do you guys do more plumbing, heating, or electric? Where is truly most of the calls, or is it all... Right now, of course, it's probably... Well, you're in between everything, so what is it?
Well, yeah, I mean, we're in between on the HVAC season. I want to bring up a point on that.
Go.
You guys talk about this all the time. The biggest reason people get in trouble is because they got to make last-minute decisions. Be proactive in all of your plumbing, heating, cooling, electrical.
No matter what.
Have an expert in there, do an inspection, make sure everything's up to code, everything's safe. Right now, and I'm going to throw a special out there. Right now, we got a $39 special for a air conditioning tune-up. So what's going to happen, though, is people are going to wait 2 months until they need to use it. Everybody in Denver is going to be busy, and they're not going to be able to get service for 2 weeks, and they're going to pay a lot more. $39. We do an entire inspection of your air conditioning unit and give it a clean bill of health. If it needs repairs, we'll go over those with you. If it doesn't, then we'll give you the clean bill of health, and we'll guarantee it through the summer.
You guys came out to my house and put in an entire house surge protector.
Yes.
That's pretty cool. It's never done anything. I've lost power a couple times out there, not due to that, but what exactly does that do, man?
So, you know, just like the surge protectors you plug your appliances in, this is for your whole home. And we got a special for your listeners, Tom Martino listeners, $197.
Right now?
Right now, $197. We'll install it. And if you have a surge...
Now, if I paid more than that 2 years ago, will you give me the difference back at this point?
Well, I gave you the friends and family retail plus 10.
So he'll do a whole home electric surge.
You know what?
197.
Oh, you mean the surge protector itself?
197.
At the panel? Yeah. I had one of those. Those are really good. And you know what? Here's the deal. people think, oh, for lightning and all that. Let me tell you something. Over the years, your refrigerator, your other motors that come on and off, it's amazing the strain it puts on your system. And it's slow deterioration, and this smooths that out completely. And that's really important. That's really important. Not just the spikes, but the surges. Hey, Lee, what's happening?
Good afternoon, Tom, long-time listener.
Thank you.
I was just wondering, a little while ago you were talking about a 93 or it's free for sewer.
Yeah.
And may I have the name of
it's
that
Plum. It's Plumline Services.
Oh, it is Plumline Services?
303-586-1086. If you have a slow drain or a clogged drain, it's perfect. And there really is no obligation.
What's yours doing?
We just had our sewer fixed, so it broke. It collapsed.
Uh-oh.
And there was no...
Wait, did you have it replaced?
Yes.
You already had it replaced?
Yes, I just want to, in case, we got a lot more sewer
You shouldn't have any What, did you just have a section replaced?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
How much of a section?
I didn't really look, but I'd say 4 to 6 feet.
4 to 6 feet. How did they locate it? With a locator, they knew right where to go, and they only dug up that section?
Well, no, it wasn't quite like that. The water line in our basement broke, and the water line went out of the house. So we were going to have them start there.
You mean the drain line broke, not the water line?
The drain line
broke,
yes.
Okay.
And so that's where they started, right at where it comes out of the house?
Yeah.
Well, about a foot away is where the collapse was.
Oh,
we were lucky. They didn't have to. Yeah, we didn't have to go too far.
Well, listen, you know what I love about...
I don't understand why she wants to have them out now. Since it's been repaired, is it still slow?
No, I just want to
she wants
get
a double...
a name of... Yeah, I would just want a name of someone else because I'm thinking that sewer line may break again.
Listen, I don't want to throw stones at anyone that already did the work. I don't even need to know names, but how much were you charged for that section? I'm just curious.
$4,000.
Oh, that's not bad. Okay. That's not for digging and replacing?
That's pretty typical. Did we do it for you, Lee? This is Bob with Plumline.
Did Plum...
No.
No? Okay.
Okay.
No.
So as far as the price, that sounds about right. But typically when we do a repair like that, we give you before and after pictures, and we run the line, we cable it again, and then we'll do a video just to make sure that nothing's wrong. I mean, that's something that should have been done before, but you said your line collapsed, so obviously they couldn't run a camera down there. But once they did the repair, they should have given you a complimentary camera and given you, an indication whether the rest of the line...
I want to make something very clear. With Plumline that I love, the new technologies. So you don't have to necessarily dig up the old line anymore. You can pipe burst through the old one.
In most cases now, with Lee's case, once it collapses...
No, I understand that. But we're talking about if you have an old line, clay or whatever, you can go through it, put a brand new line in, right through the existing pathway.
That's exactly right. And so we don't have to tear up your landscaping or anything
No.
else.
They just do a hole at the beginning, feed it through, and at the end they pull it through. It's an amazing process.
But Lee, are you still on the line?
Yeah, she's still on.
Okay. So if you want to call our office, 303-586-1086, or maybe Suzanne can get your information offline, and I'll be happy to send one of my supervisors by with a camera, just to make sure that the rest of the line is okay for you.
You want to make sure you may as well. You spend so much money. Okay, so this is a problem that happens a lot with people right now because of the older drains. What would you estimate out there, percentage of homes? If the home was built when? Are we talking about you're going to have drain problems eventually? You will. You're going to eventually have to replace it. Like the 50s or 60s or even 70s or 80s. What do you think?
Well, most of the drains around Denver are built out of what's called clay tile.
Right.
And
but
so,
what year did that stop? When did they upgrade?
In the 80s.
Okay, so if you have a house built mid-80s,
late 70s,
early 80s back, right, you should be at least mindful that your sewer is going to need replacement someday.
Exactly, and knock on wood, not all of them have problems, but it's just like the clay pipe is just like the reddish pipes or pots that you plant stuff in.
And what does stuff come right through them?
Well, what happens is with the shifting of grounds, they move with the tree roots.
Is it in the seam that it happens, or does they just clean break in the middle?
Many times it'll start in the seams. But yeah, the line can crack.
Now, the new pipes you put in, are they seamless?
They are, for the most part, seamless. And
just one solid line.
When we're doing the pipe bursting, it's a solid line right now.
When you do the other?
When we do the other, we connect PVC, but those lines should last 700 years. I mean, you're never going to have problems.
Right.
If there's a problem, it's either workmanship, poor workmanship, or maybe the ground really shifted. But even that's going to be pretty rare because if they're bedded it properly, it shouldn't have any problem.
Bedded, that means supported underneath it for sure, yeah.
Did you mention something about ceramic car wax? I got some guy asking me. I have
ceramic
no idea
coating on a car? No.
No, a gentleman called in and held for a little bit, wanted an opinion on that.
Yeah. Now,
what is it?
Well, I'll tell you, it's a surface coating if that's what he's talking about. But
is it mop and glow?
The ceramics is overstated. Okay, we'll explain it. I'll explain it.
Sponsored by Farmers Insurance.
It's better than standard. It's the upgraded model.
Actual ceramic on?
Well, it's so we're talking about minerals like you have in the soil. It's just a gimmick.
It's like diatomaceous earth. A gimmick.
That's no gimmick.
It's a big gimmick.
I haven't been sick.
He literally buys dirt and eats it.
Special dirt. It's white dirt.
Yeah, special.
I don't see color. That's white dirt.
Eat it, and he eats it.
For my coffee, yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
disgusting.
Suzanne, so is that.
That's really dirt.
No, it's not.
What is it?
It's diatom. So it's basically silica. So it's almost pure silica.
Which is what? Watch how I dig down to this.
Holy silica.
So it's not dirt, it's sand.
Mike is going on, guys, so try to contain yourself
We have
here.
to take training classes on how to avoid silica.
Denver Egress Window is a company that rebuilds or installs new window wells and windows that go through your foundation. You know, you need those to legally take advantage of square footage, and of course you want the protection, and you want the beauty and the value and the durability of a new one. They can put one in where one never existed, or they can rebuild the old ones where those builders put in that ugly corrugated metal and it's all rotting out. And it can protect your basement as well from water and infiltration of critters. Denver Egress Window.com 720-626-4221. That's 720-626-4221.
Tom, 1 minute. Frank Duran, 30 spot. 1 minute.
Actually, it got to where
No, you're breathing it. Yes.
it's not part of the.
But eating it's fine.
It's not accepted.
Exactly.
I was at a
It's asbestos. You never want to breathe it in.
But you can
But feel free to
Diatomaceous earth by the very, they're diatoms.
Diatoms,
Tiny.
right, but you gotta get the food grade.
They're little shellfish.
It's dirt.
It was
Dirt
really a
shells.
Single cell.
that
Single
said,
cell.
why
Single
wouldn't
cell
you just
diatom.
try the jewel?
We keep it in a salt shaker in our house.
Okay, I'll
Good.
try it.
Just
And
don't
so I
breathe.
went out and I bought one.
Breathing on it.
He goes to class.
To smoke
His
it.
guys have to go to class how not to get near it.
Right, no,
He's eating it.
not to breathe it.
I don't think anyone.
They can eat it in the class, they can eat it.
You know, look, I'm not going to diss what he's doing because everyone has their own.
Hey, if you want to buy dirt, buy dirt.
Look at
Dan,
I got a
what's
bridge I
silly,
have for
what's
sale.
silly is doing that without doing omega-3s. This product contains. Why would you do
I do omega-3.
Let's talk about the best of the best of the best of the best of the best. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. You just can't do better. I mean, what the heck? I've been talking about him for years, and people say, Tom, you weren't exaggerating, not one tiny little bit. I can't believe the attention he gives me on my listing. So if you're listing a home, call him. If you're looking to buy a home, call him. 303-920-1622. You know, after a while, you may think, God, this guy can't be that good. Just, how about you shop around and then you make your own decision when you choose them. 303-920-1622. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com.
Boeing says they had a fix, software fix, and more training for the pilots.
Alone.
It is possible.
There's a lot of airlines, a lot of money because of this.
Can live a stress-free,
We should have bought that damn stock.
It still ain't done. They could get lawsuits over this.
Well, considering they almost had an accident yesterday.
Which I'm sure you're doing anyway. It's a solution worth
Why wasn't this done before? Because pilots have told
still taking.
It's not, oh, it never did really
It's up
tank.
today after this.
It's never really tanked. It never really did tank, though, I think.
Oh, yeah, it did. It took some pretty good hits, man.
Would it go down to 10%? Would it go down 10%?
I think it did.
I could be wrong, but I thought it could.
I can't be wrong. If it didn't go down, they're reporting it incorrectly.
303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000 or online at AmericanFinancing.net.
So
it's only happened
440 to 375. What is
the
that?
website to see a video that I
440
about this investment. So many people have questions.
So look at that dive, man. It's huge. It went from
440 to 370.
So here's where it started.
Actually, it went, 440
You're talking the high.
to 375.
420.
No, actually 362.
420 is where it happened.
To supplement your social
Where? Right here?
It's a safe,
422
for almost
to
everyone. Why don't you
362.
go to
A little over 10%.
becombanker.info and let me know what you think.
You said it wasn't 10%.
Okay, that's a little off. Ooh, this is kind of cool.
I'm Tom Martino, 303-713-TALK. If you want to call these last few minutes, we'll certainly have time to take 1 or 2 calls for absolutely sure. 2 calls, maybe even 3. So let's talk about what's on your mind. When we're talking about sewer replacement, sewer line replacement, okay, the flip side to that is there are a lot of scams, and we have gotten calls about the scams. First and foremost, you got to make sure you need one. You need a sewer line, okay? And Bob said, you know, if you have tree roots, they're going to come back, but sometimes they're slow, and you can treat it, you can clean it, and if you're only cleaning it once every couple of years or something, you may want to live with it, and there may not be a reason to replace that whole line. In other cases, it's worse. You may have a belly, you may have a low spot, it's a chronic problem, or you may have roots getting in, and it's only going to get worse. And if that happens, then you are going to definitely want to replace it. But there are new technologies where you don't have to dig up the ground. Now, on ceramic coatings for cars, I consider it a gimmick, but no more of a gimmick than silicone or wax. It's simply an ingredient they're putting into the coatings, ceramic, you know. So now, when you lay down that finish, it's a coating on top, it's a wax. You are now laying down a little microscopic fibers of ceramic. That's it. You know, it used to be just wax, right? And then they added things to wax. And now they're adding this ceramic. And it's just a gimmick. Yeah, it might be better. But it's not. They're calling it a coating as if to give it some kind of permanency.
Is it generally sold as an upgrade, though, when you buy a vehicle, or is it sold in a, like Turtle Wax now has ceramic?
Okay. They have a more permanent one, and then they have the more temporary one. There are some, okay, they say, according to the ones that sell it, they say it's an advance, and it's more advanced than waxes or sealants. But really all it does, it's that nanotechnology. It gets into the pores, and it covers them. You know, it's just like any protection. You're filling pores. What are you filling them with? Wax is temporary. Silicone is temporary. You know, this is temporary, but on a more permanent basis than totally temporary. It depends. And whereas paint, you know, adheres and stays. So it's just another way to make the coating adhere better and cover better. And that's it. But don't ever think any coating is permanent. They're not. Paint is not even permanent. But I mean, I'm talking about these rub-ons that they sell you when you buy a car. Don't believe them. They're not permanent. You know, obviously, if you get like that rhino coating and all that, that's kind of permanent stuff. But we're talking about the sealants. Sealants are almost never permanent. Even Scotchgard is not permanent. Kevin, what is your question, Kevin?
Yes, hi, Tom. I had a question regarding an attorney situation.
I had hired an attorney to do a quiet title action case on a piece of property I own.
Yes.
Here in El Paso County.
Yes.
And he had passed away. And so everything went to I guess it's called the Colorado Attorney Regulation Council.
Yeah, they archive it, right, and you can go get it.
Right, and then we determined, since I had paid a $3,500 retainer fee, to see how much of that I would get back.
Well, I'm not sure. Wait. He had money in trust for you?
Yes, I had paid out a $3,500 retainer fee.
Well, that money should still be in trust. His estate should take care of that. That's a trust account.
Okay, yeah, I guess it's called a COLTAF account.
Well, yeah, it's a trust account. That's what it is. That for your purposes, it's his trust account, right? And how much of it did you use? Do you know?
So I only got $650 back, and hardly any of the work.
Did you get an accounting though?
Like a breakdown of everything, or?
Yeah, on accounting on why you only got $650 back.
Like a timesheet.
That money, I mean dollar for dollar, should be in a trust account. It really should be. It's very, very serious. Now, obviously, you're not going to disbar the guy, okay? But what you will do, you will go after his estate. You have a real claim unless they provided you with a breakdown. Now, if you disagree with the billing, that's going to be a whole mess because I don't know how you do that. But did you get a breakdown, Kevin?
No, I did not.
So they simply wrote you a check with no accounting. They did not say 35 minus this. It was simply a $600 check.
Well, they wrote a letter and they stated, okay, me and one other guy that was his client at the same time, and how much the breakdown was for each of us, and then how much it went back to his wife.
Well, you have to go after you have to make a claim for the estate. Who gave you this accounting or this letter? Who gave it to you?
It came from the Colorado Attorney Regulation Council.
Well, you need to contact them. He was what's called out of trust. And that becomes a liability, in my opinion, of the state, of his estate. I don't know how the hell, if he was out of trust, that's a dangerous situation. He would have been charged with a serious offense. Because unless he should have money to pay back both of you minus legal fees. If not, you have a claim. You have to call the council and tell them that and see what they tell you to do to proceed. I'm Tom Martino. Don't forget Plumline Services for that special deal. PlumlineServices.com, 303-586-1086. And remember, referralist.com for help, information, and referrals.
You know, it's really crazy thinking, what are you going to do? The guy's dead. Yeah, but his estate isn't.
Yeah, but how do you argue? How do you argue he didn't do enough work?
You can't. That's going to be. I have a feeling he was just out of trust. I don't think he got it encountered.
Hey Bob, a guy emailed saying he was told for tree roots is to pour a gallon of bleach down. That is bullshit.
No, it melts. Bleach melts. Just drink some and watch what happens.
But that doesn't mean it's going to be a solution. It's going to be maybe temporary at best.
He says every year it's doing.